pray all this in the name of Jesus, and amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Pastor. Please join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Commissioner Cower wants to let us know do we have the balcony open? And for those that want to sit, I don't know if you're here just for the ceremonial items, but if you're here for the entire Commissioners Court, we want to let you know. Security, make sure we can open up the balcony. And for those that want to sit up on the balcony, we have a second floor. All right? Okay, thank you, Commissioner Moody. Thank you, Pastor Jennings. Commissioner Moody, you've asked for a point of personal privilege. You have the floor.
Thank you, Judge. Would Mr. Michael Moreland please come forward? So we wanted to take a moment this morning just to recognize, and there's a long list of names, so I enlisted some help here, but everyone from Bexar County, from our ESDs to Emergency Management Office, to the Bexar County Sheriff's Office, constables, everyone that responded in Kerrville's time of need. In the worst, darkest days of the Hill Country, Bexar County showed up, and they showed up in a big way. And we just want to recognize everybody who took part in that. Some folks were up there for days, some folks for weeks, some folks sleeping in their cars overnight, and I think they deserve to be recognized here this morning. You have the floor.
Appreciate that, Commissioner. Good morning, Commissioners. Judge Michael Moreland with the Bexar County Office of Emergency Management. If you're here for this item, could you come up here, please? So,
why don't y'all step forward so everybody can now understand why we're forward here.
there we go, yeah.
Well, we just thought it was for the budget, but...
Yeah. So, over the last few weeks, we've gathered a list of individuals that from Bexar County that responded to the Hill Country for the floods. Of that list, there's 208 names, so all of them aren't represented here today, but we want to thank each individual one of those. So, though I may eventually get some of these names wrong, but I'm going to try my best to go through this list. From ESD 2, Keaton Maddock, Mackenzie Barnes, Daniel Jordan, Mark Montgomery, Ryan Buchanan, Jeffrey Casey, Michael Thomas, Robert Villalobos, Luis Gonzalez, Samuel Flores, Matthew Janes, Zachary Martin, Chillen Montgomery, Joseph Rodriguez, Larissa Alarcon, Kimberly Duple, Salvador Butcher, Jason Castillo, Andreas Cantu, Patrick Juarez, Frank De Leon, Courtney Nelson, Conrad Carter, Cameron Burton, Joel Bastillos, Mark Montgomery, Jordan Gowie, Glenn Haskell, Gary Gutierrez, Chris Ratt, Blake Gadu, Josh Pomor, Andrew Delgado, Alec Cruz, Gabriela Mendez, and Austin Rather. From ESD 3, Stephen Fisher, Brian Diaz, Guy Morrison, Joseph Galape, Andy Parada, Zach De La Garza, Josh Davila, Jesus Garza, Ricardo Torres, and Dakota Barrett. From ESD 4, Chris Framstead, Brandon Mulholland, Bryce Connolly, Cody Ochoa, Adrian Falcon, Hector Zaragoza, Daniel Nellamore, Caitlin Fairhurst, and Jocelyn Ramirez. From ESC 7, Warren Stein, Gabriel Sones, Adam Conkright, Kincaid Gonzalez, Rick Bowering, Nathan LaField, Warren Sawyer, Cesar Avalios, Moses Solis, Peter Slush, Christopher Williams, Jonathan Campa, Tanner Masters, Yvonne Garcia, and Stephen Slush. From ESD 8, Shane Redow, Chris Anderson, John Chaffin, Michael Gutierrez, Brennan Ryan, and Joseph Kogorga. From ESD 12, Lawrence Padalecki Jr., Gary Williams, Josiah Rodriguez, Ken Smith, Carl Fauner, Hanson Oliver, Anthony Manjares, Omar Sandoval. From the Sheriff's Office, Aaron Valmaldo, Trace Shannon, Andrew Delgado, Arturo Garcia, Ebony Jones, John Salazar, Dennis Osteen, and Glenn Altman. From BCIT, Stephen Sample. From Constable Precinct 2, David Myers, Joseph Stinson, Nathan Carzales, Jamie Gonzalez, Hal Hart Keaton, and Robert Clark. From the DA's office, Andrew Marks, Stephen Vaughn, Brian King, Jose Gonzalez, Jose Nino, Joseph Stinson, Martin Gomez, Michael Jennings, Bruce Hollenquist, Gregory De Hoyos, Jesus Castillo, Joseph Stinson, Marella Melecor, Mario Esparza, Mark Alaka, Rudy Rangel, James Chetam, Jose Nino, Joseph Rodriguez, Ramiro Munez, Anthony Reed, Brian Petrie, Bruce Hollenquist, Gregory DeHayos, and Jesus, which we already mentioned. Kimberly from the Medical Examiner's Office, Kimberly Molina, Garrett Phillips, James Fang, Gun Young Jung, David Lynch, Tabitha Ward, James Wilkerson, Donald Tuberville, Samantha Evans, Bernadette McLaren, Timothy Fagan, Anna Garcia, Jesse Fitzgerald, Veronica Hargove, Marisa Teresa Tarrant, Stephen Nicholson, Nicole Healy, Megan Ryan, James Eckers, Jerry Lavea, Eric DeLeon, Aaron Fraga, Kimberly Frevaletti, Jennifer Jimenez, Ashley Rodriguez, Megan Garza, Daniel McClara, Patricia Manars, Kimberly Peter, Alexandra Ramirez, Alexandria Rodriguez, Douglas Ryan, Manuel Sanchez, Natalie Sierna, Nathan Spear, Misty Torres, Kelly Byer, Kristen Bruns, Ryan Yates, Alyssa Bedgear, Mauro Cruz, Tiffany Rittman, Jeffrey Edwards, Tyler Bradford, Kira Dolan, Alex Garcia, Michael Hernandez, Samantha McCormick, Adriana Perry, Christina Robertson, Joshua Rodriguez, Laquita Santos, Mackenzie Willis, Barbara Garcia, Marella Torres, Jessica McAllister, Sarah Lumfunco, Christina Ornelas, Laurel Ardras, Maria Renteria, Bernard Garcia, Valerie Castillo, Jennifer Flores, Desiree Contreras, Travis McDaniel, Carolyn Meave, Malay Phipps, Amanda Martinez, Nicole Robles, Elizabeth Hankin, Nicole Lemons, and Destiny Garcia. From the Fire Marshal's Office for Dispatch, Mariana Craig, Victoria Contreras, Lorraine Garza, and Anna Vega. And from the Office of Emergency Management, myself, Colton Goss, Brian Castellano, Brent Archer, Ray Torres, Sean McKenna, Deborah Goins, and Josh Crabtree. Sorry if I butchered any of y'all's names. I tried my best, but a lot of names. But Commissioner, if I may, a lot of what these people saw during the Hill Country response is something that they won't ever forget. The things that they heard, the things that they saw, will be something that they'll never forget, myself included. These are the true heroes behind us, that responded to there, that took their time off during holiday weekend from their families, and we appreciate them.
Would y'all come forward for a picture?
Hey, how are you?
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, we've never had this many in the house before, so we're going to try to take this picture.
Down here and up there. There's going to be one down here and one up there. Anybody ready? Up here. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay, I'm going to take 2. So on a count of 3. 1, 2, 3. And one more.
One right here. 1, 2, 3. Great.
Thank you to all the men and women of first responders for Bexar County for your service, your sacrifice. Job well done.
Good to see you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. All right, let's move on to our agenda. Doris, building ours.
Thank you guys for your service. Thank you. Appreciate it, guys.
All right, we'll go to agenda item number 3. Request the Commissioner Court identify items from the consent agenda for any discussion and approve remaining consent agenda items. Kate, is there any matters to pull?
Yes, Judge, we are pulling number 27. And
27's pulled
and we are deferring number 52.
and defer 52. All right. Court, I hope you caught that. We're pulling 27 and 52. All right. Commissioner Clay Flores, any matters for individual consideration?
Come back to me, please.
She said come back to me.
All right. Commissioner Rodriguez?
I'm good, Judge.
Commissioner Moody?
I'm going to pull 12.
12? Okay.
Nothing for me, Judge.
All right. Commissioner Clay Flores, come back to you.
Nothing to pull.
All right, so is there a motion to approve the remaining consent agenda items? Motion by Commissioner Rodriguez. Second by Commissioner Moody. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries. Let's take up the matters of individual. Item 12, notification of payment to those employees who have accumulated hours in excess of FLS.
Do the ceremonial stuff first, Judge? I still have the proclamation.
Oh, yeah, you're right. You're right. Let me pull back. Okay, thank you, Commissioner Rodriguez. Let me pull back on individual consideration. We'll come back to it. Let us try to proceed through our ceremonial items. We'll take up the first presentation proclamation on behalf of Commissioners Court recognizing the UTSA Roadrunners baseball team for securing the program's first NCAA regional championship title. Go Birds, go. Come on up, UTSA baseball and administrators and coaches. And Commissioner Moody, you have a proclamation. As y'all come forward, Commissioner Moody, you have the floor.
Thank you, Judge, and thank you to Lisa, Albert, Coach Hallmark, and the rest of the team for being here. I have a list of names. I'm not sure if it's comprehensive or not. We have coaches Hallmark, Aguayo, Butler, and Cavazos, as well as student athletes in the house, Drew Detlefson, Kendall Dove, Gunnar Brown, Connor Kelly, Connor Miles, Sam Simmons, Brock Harmer, Andrew Stuckey, Josh Vaughn, Jordan Ballin, that's a cool name, and Caden Miller. Did I miss anybody? Awesome. Well, we're excited to have you here. Obviously, you guys had a tremendous season. We're looking forward to what's in store and what's ahead for UTSA baseball. But I do have a proclamation to read on behalf of Bexar County Commissioners Court. Whereas UTSA baseball team recorded the best season in program history in 2025, winning a program record 47 games. The Roadrunners claimed the 2025 American Athletic Conference regular season championship for the first time in school history. Whereas the Roadrunners won their first ever postseason game, defeating Kansas State on May 30th, before beating number 2 Texas Longhorns twice over the next 2 days in Austin to claim the NCAA Austin Regional Championship. And whereas UTSA advanced to the NCAA Super Regional for the first time in program history, notching the first top 10 NCAA finish in any sport for the Roadrunners. And whereas Coach Hallmark, in his 6th season leading the Roadrunners, was named the 2025 American Athletic Conference Coach of the Year. Congratulations, Coach. And whereas UTSA student athletes were recognized among the best in the American, as Mason Little was named the Player of the Year and Defensive Player of the Year, Drew Detlefsen earned Newcomer Position Player of the Year accolades, and James Tussig was honored as the American Male Scholar Athlete of the Year. And whereas the San Antonio community embraced the UTSA baseball team, helping it set a single game Roadrunner field attendance record of 1,457 fans to the game against Texas State on March 25th. Now therefore be it resolved that the Bexar County Commissioners Court hereby recognizes and proclaims the great successes of the 2025 UTSA Roadrunners baseball team. Signed, your Commissioners Court. Lisa, would you like to say a few words?
What an honor to be recognized on the day that these first responders were recognized. So thank you to them and the service they provided. But again, you know, UTSA athletics, our aspirational vision is to transform lives as San Antonio, Bexar County's nationally recognized program. And these guys did just that, transforming lives from a 5-year-old kid who came and watched the game to just this community. And we could not have done it without you all. You continue to support us in so many ways. So thank you so much for your support. A huge thanks to Bexar County, San Antonio, who continue to invest in these 18 to 22-year-olds who are getting degrees, going out and getting jobs, wanting to stay here in Bexar County and make a difference. So thank you for your investment. Again, it was such a historic year, so much to be proud of. When we hired Coach 6 years ago, this was the vision. And we've gone through conference realignment, we went through COVID, and to accomplish that in a short amount of time is a lot of credit to Coach and his assistants and his ability to recruit high-quality students to UTSA. So again, couldn't do it without you all. Thank you so much. Birds up.
Birds up. Someone come take a picture. Dr. Campos, here's your proclamation. Another one. Good job, guys.
Coach, you're welcome. Congrats. Coach, congratulations.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Y'all got the higher guys in front of me. So. You want to go on the other side? You're taller than I am.
Does he play basketball too?
All right, Coach. Let's get another championship run, Coach.
Congrats, guys.
All right. Good luck, guys.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Congrats. Thank you.
All right. We'll go. Hey, Doc, thank you. Presentation and proclamation on behalf of Commissioner Court recognizing August 26th as National Therapy Dog Day and the SA Royal Therapy Dog teams for their work with the Bexar County Justice Center and the leadership of Honorable Ron Hill. Commissioner Calvin, you have the floor.
I'm not sure if I see Judge Rangel or Happy. Oh, are Are they back? There they are. I didn't see them. It's such a full classroom. It could be a classroom. Full courtroom this morning. Thank you all for coming. And you'll have to introduce us again to your special honorees.
The Royal Dogs.
Yeah. We have this proclamation, and it reads, whereas National Therapy Dog Day is celebrated annually on August 26th to honor the remarkable contributions of therapy dogs, whose presence brings comfort, healing, and emotional support to individuals in need across our communities. And whereas this day also reminds us of the broader recognition offered by National Therapy Animal Day on April 30th, which highlights the important roles of therapy animals of all kinds, including cats and horses and rabbits, in providing vital care and companionship. And whereas the San Antonio Royals therapy dog teams, founded by visionary advocate Cynthia Happy Buttles, have profoundly impacted Bexar County through programs serving victims, jurors, staff at the Justice Center, and children through literacy initiatives. Under the leadership of the Honorable Judge Rangel, the San Antonio Royals have began their service at the Bexar County Justice Center in October of 2022, offering comfort within the halls of justice. And whereas Mrs. Buttles, a survivor of ovarian and breast cancer, has dedicated her life to expanding the reach of therapy dog services by training new handlers and fostering partnerships that strengthen well-being. Her decades of service and leadership exemplify the compassion and dedication celebrated through National Therapy Dog Day. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Bexar County Commissioners Court hereby recognizes and celebrates August 26, 2025 as National Therapy Dog Day. Witness our signatures and seal of office this 9th day of September 2025. And we also have Judge Boyd. Stephanie Boyd is in the house. Thank you. I learned this morning about how the therapy dogs help folks in her courtroom as well. So thank you both. You have the floor.
Thank you, Commissioners. Thank you so much for having us. I want to also recognize part of my team, which is Linda Kurz, Sabrina and Roy, Bonell, and then also we have Raz Hernandez and Priscilla Hertz is here. I'm just grateful that you guys are acknowledging us once again. All the work that we do in the courthouse has been phenomenal. To be able to be out in the public and actually run into some of the jurors that we see on a regular basis that are in the court systems, come up and thank us and tell us how much they appreciate us, to calm their nerves, to know that we're being announced when the judges are talking to the jurors and things like that, to let them know that we are in the halls of the court system and to let them know that we're there just to support them. I'd like to turn this over to Judge Boyd to also explain what she has experienced in her courtroom on some of the things and the support that she's been giving us. So thank you.
Thank you. It is an honor to be here. Thank you to the commissioners and Judge Sakai for having us and for honoring us. And I want to thank the first responders. Your work does not go unnoticed. When you look at these therapy dogs, I know everybody say, oh my gosh, they're so cute. And they are, but they're working. And they do fabulous work in the courtrooms. In my courtroom, I have capital murder cases. I have child cases involving sexual abuse of children. And if you could see the sense of calmness and confidence that these dogs bring to children, they bring to witnesses in the courtroom, they brought to me, and just to the jurors. There is such a sense of comfort that they give the victims as well. We desperately need therapy dogs in every courtroom, and I see the difference that they make. I see the difference that they make when jurors are standing out in the hallway, sitting on hard benches, waiting to come in. It just lowers the temperature and the pressure that everyone else is feeling. So on behalf of Judge Rangel, on behalf of all of the judges, I just want to say thank you, thank you, thank you.
Come on up and take a photo with us.
Let's have the Royal Dogs, please, come forward. If they will allow us. It sounds like they're ready. How are you?
Let me give you all the proclamation here.
There we go.
I can hold that while
Hold
we take
on
the
that.
photo. Thank you, Judge. Great job. Appreciate it.
Miss Cynthia, you welcome.
Happy, great message.
How are you?
All
Good to
right.
see you.
We can't thank you. I love you too.
Thank you so much.
Here we go.
Hey, Priscilla. Good morning, Priscilla. Good to see you.
So,
Yeah, we might, yeah. Depends how the budget goes.
yeah. All right, we're going to take up presentation and proclamation on behalf of Commissioners Court recognizing and proclaiming October 13th to the 17th, 2025 as San Antonio Startup Week powered by Geekdom. Charles Wooden, CEO, if you're here with your group, please step forward as I read the proclamation. Whereas Bexar County proudly celebrates the 10th anniversary of San Antonio Startup Week, making a decade of entrepreneurship, innovation, collaboration, and growth. And whereas Geekdom, San Antonio's collaborative epicenter for startup programs, Progress will host the milestone 10th annual San Antonio Startup Week from October 13th to October 17th, 2025 in downtown San Antonio. And whereas the official theme for 2025, From Deep Roots, honors the strong foundations, enduring community, and rich heritage that have cultivated a thriving startup ecosystem over the past 10 years. And whereas From Deep Roots celebrates how founders, mentors, investors, support organizations, and Bexar County's diverse communities have collectively nourished bold ideas, sustainable ventures, and long-term economic prosperity. And whereas San Antonio Startup Week has grown to attract thousands of attendees annually, offering vital programming, meaningful connections, and funding opportunities that empower and equip local entrepreneurs. And whereas over its first decade, the San Antonio Startup Week has welcomed more than 10,000 participants, hosted over 80 sessions annually, awarded more than $750,000 in funding and investment to founders, demonstrating a sustained and inclusive impact across the region. Now, therefore, be resolved that the Bexar County Commissioner Court hereby recognizes and proclaims October 13, 17, 2025 as San Antonio Startup Week, powered by Geekdom, and we call upon the people of Bexar County to join us in supporting the activities and mission of San Antonio Startup Week, celebrating a decade of innovation nurtured by strong community-driven roots. Signed by the members of the court. Mr. Wooden, you have the floor. Please come forward with your team, so to speak. So y'all step forward right behind them. Let's give them a round of applause, too.
Thank you, Judge, and thank you, Commissioners. Good morning, and it's such an honor to be in front of you today. I wanted to make this really quick. I know you guys got a big day with the budget coming up, but three really quick things. First, I just wanted to say thank you so much for this and also for supporting the Startup Bootcamp program that we have. Our next one is coming up just around the corner, September 19th through the 21st. If anybody's available, please let them know that this is one of the very best first steps you can take on creating your company and starting your entrepreneurial journey. Additionally, second, I'd like to say that tomorrow is our San Antonio Startup Day. So if any of you are interested to learn more about San Antonio Startup Week, which we just acknowledged, and what's to come in October, please come out to Geekdom tomorrow to learn all about it. And we'll also conclude that with our Incubator Showcase, 11 amazing new entrepreneurs on their journey. And then last, but surely not least, is acknowledging how important San Antonio Startup Week is and really reiterate the call of action there, which is that if anybody is interested, come and check out that week, October 13th through the 17th. This year, being the 10th, marks a very important year, with it being about a halfway journey to creating the startup ecosystem that we endeavored upon 10 years ago. So we'd love for anybody, it's never too late to come out and join. So please come out, learn more about what resources exist in San Antonio and how to get your entrepreneurial journey started. Thank you.
Forward for a picture and acceptance of the proclamation. Thank you, Charles. Thank you, Mary Jaffe. Thank you, Deborah Carter. Thank you.
Deborah, how are you? Good. You're welcome. Hi there. How are you? Good to see you.
Nice to see you again. Good to see you. All right. Yes. All right. All right, I have a point of personal privilege. I'd like to recognize, if they're still here, Melinda Rodriguez, Kelsey Subramanian, and Dr. Tuzan. Are y'all still in the house? Please come forward. Court, we approved in the consent the funding for ARCSA. So I'd like to take a point of personal privilege to recognize, which is item 45, which is county investment in the Asian Resource Center. Earlier this year, the court unanimously approved authority to negotiate these agreements. We have reached those agreements. The county has a strong track record of investing in culturally specific facilities, such as in Precinct 1, Commissioner Clay Forrest, the ongoing Native American Cultural Center. Precinct 2, Commissioner Rodriguez, the Mexican-American Civil Rights Institute. Precinct 4, Commissioner Calvert, the San Antonio African American Community Archive and Museum Facility. And Commissioner 3, I want to thank you for your help in supporting a thriving community center, which will help be dedicated to raising awareness about the rich heritage of Asian Americans, fostering a strong sense of community here in Bexar County, and building unity and celebrating diverse Asian cultures here in Bexar County. And we're able to do this without issuing any new debt. I want to thank Commissioner Moody and the entire court for supporting this important investment. I want to thank the leadership of the Asian Resource Center for their efforts to celebrate community heritage. Quickly, if y'all would, please introduce yourself.
Thank you so much, Judge Sakai and Commissioners. My name is Kosi Subramaniam. Elisa and Melinda are not here today. Melinda had to step away, but we do have Nelson with us. And very, very briefly, I grew up here in San Antonio. Grew up not feeling like this was my home. I felt like I was a guest in my own home, the only home I knew. But we've come so far since the 70s and 80s with all of our festivals, the Asian Festival, the Diwali Festival, and we truly feel that this is the next step forward for the Asian community to not just celebrate how far we've come, but to really move us forward and to help the community feel like the important part of the fabric of our community that we are. So we truly, truly appreciate your support. And we are so excited about moving this project forward with you all as our partners. Thank you so much. Nelson.
Good morning, Judge Sakai and Commissioners. My name is Dr. Nelson Tuazan. I'm the Executive Director for the Asian Resource Center for San Antonio. So beyond a physical space, the center aims to cultivate and celebrate our diversity in San Antonio. We have programs and initiatives that support our uniqueness, but also celebrates our commonalities within our community. We are committed to supporting and assisting our community in youth programs, cultural, educational, and health-related activities that we can offer. So again, thank you for your support, and we look forward to working with all of you. Thank you.
Here we go.
Good to see you.
Thank you, guys. All right, let's get back to the agenda. I believe we're going to go back to Kate. We go back to consent. Those matters pulled. Oh, sorry. I'm trying to get through this. All right. Sorry, I'm not. Yeah, the budget. We're trying to get to the budget. All right, here we go. Special presentation. Sorry. The special presentation on behalf of Commissioners Court recognizing the Bexar Gives Back Program for all their work and successes of the program. Commissioner Clay Flores, you have the floor.
Hi, Sheriff.
Good morning, Commissioner. Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. Good morning.
So I just wanted to highlight this program that was launched in 2020 by Sheriff Salazar, and is designed to provide an alternative to incarceration for low-level, non-violent offenders. Low-level, non-violent offenders. Instead of serving time behind bars, because I'm always talking about people rotting in jail, Qualified participants complete court-ordered community service projects that benefit our county and its residents. Court-ordered, that's why we have some of our judges here. Thank you for being here. It helps participants maintain their jobs and remain with their families, supporting stability and reducing harmful long-term effects incarceration often brings. Secondly, it alleviates jail overcrowding and eases the workload on our deputies who would otherwise be tasked with supervising inmates. That adds up to overtime, which we see you often, and a higher cost of taxpayer dollars, which affects our general fund budget. David Smith. Most importantly, the program helps reduce recidivism by providing participants with a structured way to integrate into the community in a positive and productive way. Since its inception, the Bexar County Gives Back Program has resulted in tremendous taxpayer savings of over $2.2 million. By avoiding costly incarceration expenses, the program's participants contribute thousands of hours annually engaging in projects such as community cleanup, graffiti removal, and partnering with local nonprofits like Habitat for Humanity to improve our neighborhoods. The Bexar Gives Back Program represents a smarter, compassionate approach to justice, one that protects public safety, supports families, saves taxpayer dollars, and strengthens our community. I'm proud to support this initiative and look forward to seeing its continued success and hope that more judges will sentence eligible defendants to participate in Bexar Gives Back. Thank you so much. Sheriff Salazar, time is yours.
Thank you, Commissioner. I appreciate it. Yes, as the ongoing debate on whether to build more jail space continues, I don't believe we need more jail space. I believe that we need to make better use of the jail space we have. Jail is not the most appropriate approach for everyone. Yes, there are people that need to be in jail, absolutely. They're too dangerous to walk amongst us, but there are still people caught up in the system that are nonviolent offenders that would be better served and would better serve the community being out with their family, remaining gainfully employed, and continuing to give back to the community. That's why Bexar Gives Back was created. Justice Velia Mesa helped us start the program up, and with us today is also Judge Melissa Vara, Judge Jimenez, Judge Robertson, Judge Dominguez, Judge Stephanie Boyd, and Judge Carlo Key, who runs the program for us now after Justice Mesa moved on to bigger and better things. But we are pleased to present Bexar County residents with a check for $2.2 million today. Since the inception of the program, these folks, and the way that dollar amount is tabulated is we take the dollar amount that's saved by not putting these people in jail to the tune of $80 to $100 a day. Plus, we put the work that they do for us, we calculate how much would we charge a landscaper, $15, $20 an hour, to do that same work that these people are doing for us to stay out of jail. And that's where we reached this $2.2 million figure. We started the program in 2020. It hit a lull during COVID, but it's back in a big way. And as the commissioner mentioned, we'd love to see even more judges jump on board with it. So I'd like to bring Judge Key up to talk about it, to talk about the program just a bit. Judge.
Good morning. Thank you very much for having us here and recognizing the program. I'm extremely proud of the program. And as you hear, the number that comes out is over $2 million in savings, which is wonderful. We've done that in less than 3 years of really actively grinding on this. But importantly, what it does is it does keep people out of jail, keeps people working, employed, lets them go home to their family, and importantly, it really gives them good works in the community. It's something they can be proud of. And I see that these people get vested in it, and they're proud of the work they do. I would just like to say that it is a great program. We're doing great things with it, and it requires cooperation. So I want to say thanks to everyone involved, from probation officers who serve as kind of the go-between the judges and the sheriff's office, the judges that participate in the program and order this program and give these offenders an opportunity, but importantly, the sheriff's office. And the sheriff's really campaigned and pushed for this, and he's proud of it. I know he's proud of the efforts that we've made. And last but not least, all of those standing behind me. They're the ones that show up Saturdays and volunteer their time and actually get to communicate and meet these offenders and discuss with them on a more personal level, and let that interaction be one that's a good interaction in the community, just not something that, one of incarceration. So, without them in the back behind us, this is not possible. I'm very proud to supervise the program and the work I do, but I really wanted to, say thank you to all the efforts of the men and women behind me who donate their time and make it happen. So thank you again for this recognition. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Can you please come forward? Can you please come forward?
Sure, absolutely. Could I invite Judge or Justice Mess up? She wanted to say a few words, if that's okay.
Good morning, Commissioners. Thank you for the time this morning. If you ever drive by the Bexar County Jail, you're going to see how the grounds are very well kept. If you go to the substations for the sheriff, the same thing, well kept grounds. But more importantly, we've also partnered with Habitat for Humanity, and so we help at their store on Probant as well. But not only that, when Rodriguez Park on the west side of Bexar County was flooded by rain, Bexar County Gives Back showed up that same Saturday and started cleaning that park up and making it ready to be used by families of Bexar County. So I just wanted to emphasize all those things about the program. It's amazing what two very willing people can do, and we look at each other and we say, your numbers are up, my numbers are up, let's do something about it that is correct under the law. So thank you for the time this morning.
Thank you.
And I neglected to mention Judge Avalos as well, so my apologies. Want to take a pic?
Let's take a pic.
Here you go, Sheriff. Thank you.
Judge, Justice, Judge.
Perfect.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Judge. Thank you, Judge. All right, presentation of a check, Bexar County Family Justice Center by the Bexar County Clerk, Lucy Adame Clark, in the amount of $3,044. Ms. Adame Clark, you have the floor.
Good morning, Judge. Good morning, Commissioners. Sorry, I was having a moment. I was enjoying seeing all my past colleagues of 22 years at the Sheriff's Office. Before we start, I want to say thank you, Judge, and thank you, Commissioners, for thinking about our employees and their pay raises, because we cannot function without them. I know my office came because I have 171 employees, so I really appreciate you all supporting them. But most of all, I want to say thank you for Crystal Chandler. Are you here? You are? Used to do weddings for free and would take on donations to donate to the Family Justice Center and the Battered Women Children's Shelter for many, many years, for 24 years. And I think he donated over hundreds of thousands of dollars because he was here the longest as a county clerk. When I came into office, my staff said, can you continue on the tradition that existed that gives support to these organizations? And I said, let's go, let's do it. So in February 2019, I went on to do the mass weddings, the traditional Valentine's Day mass weddings that take place here at the beautiful courthouse, and we've donated over $8,000 since then. We have actually donated to the Family Justice Center, the Battered Women's Children's Shelter, and also to nonprofit veteran services, because we do mass weddings right before Veterans Day to make. They assist survivors of domestic violence and individuals that deal with a lot of community resources that they don't know how to reach out to these community resources. They do not look at income or insurance requirements. Their services include in-person, online, and by telephone. The crisis of domestic violence has spanned on across the state of Texas and across the nation, more so after COVID and during COVID. The counseling and the services that the District Attorney Joe Gonzalez and his team provides does not go unnoticed. I work hard, but in between, I try to do as many weddings as I can because I think about these victims that need support, especially when you buy your marriage license from the county clerk. I consider it a wraparound service because if I'm selling marriage license, I want to make sure that if they need services from Bexar County, we're also donating money to those services. I've also added Pure Technique Boxing Gym. That's a boxing organization in the West Side where I grew up. So all the monies that come in, every single penny goes to nonprofits. None of it goes to me as a county clerk. Today I want to present $3,044 to the Family Justice Center, and I want to say thank you, DA Joe Gonzalez, for advocating for this organization and making sure that your team and Ms. Chandler continue supporting our community, especially in a time like this. So, Chandler, would you like to say a few words?
Judge and Commissioners, I want to thank our Bexar County Clerk, Lucy Dame Clark, for her continued support in this meaningful way. The donation goes to support not only the Bexar County Family Justice Center Foundation, but our youth violence prevention program. Specifically, she assisted with our back to school event this summer. So these weddings turn a day of love into a gift of hope, performing them and dedicating the proceeds to our mission of assisting victims on their journey from survivor to thriver. It's such a meaningful tradition, one that shows her heart for our community and her commitment to helping us break the cycle of violence for future generations. We're grateful for this partnership and want to also mention some of our foundation board members. The county clerk already mentioned our ex officio board member, District Attorney Joe Gonzalez, who the DA's office serves as our lead agency at the Family Justice Center, but also present on behalf of the foundation, our board members, Jamisa Jarman and Jennifer Rower, who is the CEO of Brain Nation, and she would like to say a few words of gratitude along with DA Gonzalez, if that's appropriate.
Thank you so much, Jessica. Commissioners, as a board member, I know firsthand the quality of work that this team does for the community. I know as an employer, one of my very own employees used their services, and it's life-changing. So we cannot tell you enough how grateful we are for everything that you do. We're just so grateful. This is an opportunity for you to support all of these organizations coming together and to support our most needed in our community. Thank you.
Good morning, Judge Sakai, Commissioners. On behalf of the District Attorney's Office, I'm here to publicly thank County Clerk Lucy Adame Clark for this wonderful and generous gift. The District Attorney's Office, with 60,000 or so cases that we handle a year, face a big challenge with domestic violence cases. Some of the biggest challenges are doing everything we can to protect victims of domestic violence, including protective orders. The FJC serves as a wraparound, an office where there are wraparound services, but one of the most important functions in that center is providing protective orders for victims of domestic violence, as I say. So this gift will go a long way in promoting and ensuring the continuation of the FJC and the Protective Order Division doing their work. And as far as Lucy herself, I want to tell the Commissioners Court it's been a wonderful experience to have such a great partner in county government, in the county clerk. She's been a wonderful leader, an innovative leader, and I'm just so lucky. We are so lucky in the county to have County Clerk Adama Clark. So again, on behalf of the 500 and so members of the District Attorney's Office, I want to say thank you for everything that you have done for the county and for the DA's office.
Thank you.
Thank you. Can we get a
And
picture?
Just, Judge, a note of reference, I woke up at 5:30 this morning because I'm in conference. I'm the president of the Urban Recorders Alliance, so I rushed over here from Austin, and I got to rush back afterwards.
Can we get a
I felt
picture
like
with
I
the
love
check?
them.
Let's get a picture. Let's go. Good job. Judge, how are you? Tamara? Right there. Here we go.
Count of three. 1, 2, 3. One more.
Got it. Thank you, guys. All right. Let's do what's the final special presentation of certificates of graduation for the Small Business Entrepreneurship Department, Associated General Contractors of America, San Antonio Chapter, Construction Industry Mentor Protege Program. Ms. Renee Watson, you have the floor.
Good morning, Commissioners, Judge. We are here to celebrate the culmination of a 2-year partnership. First of all, we've been partners with the Associated General Contractors of San Antonio for 20 years. We launched this program in 2005. This is our 6th cohort of proteges and mentors. Come on up, folks.
Come on up.
That we are recognizing today. The Bexar County AGC San Antonio Chapter Mentor Protege Program is the small business development component for our department. This program exists to build effective working relationships between leaders of mature established companies and locally owned small businesses in order for the latter to benefit from the knowledge and experience of established firms. The mentor-protege relationship is a 2-year commitment where the protege, 2 mentors, the AGC staff, and myself, we work together to help develop those protege firms, along with the consultants that the court funds for accounting, legal, technology, and operations. While mentors provide proteges with advice and assistance based on their real-life business experience, on occasion, one-on-one assistance is needed. The mentor firms met with their proteges monthly since June 2023. So every month since June 2023, there's a commitment from both teams. By the way, at the 100th anniversary a few years ago of the national chapter of the AGC of America, Bexar County and the AGC San Antonio received the very first ever recognition in their 100-year history for this program, for diversity and inclusion. So we beat out a lot of folks around the country, and we're very proud of that. Today, I am joined by all of the proteges, their mentors, and then I'll call on Lauren Mandel, who used to be here at the Bexar County, to have a few words on behalf of the AGC.
Thank you. Good morning, Judge Sakai, Commissioners, County Manager Smith, Lauren Mandel, Chapter President for San Antonio AGC, former Bexar County Commissioner Court staff survivor. So happy to be here with all of you today. Just want to thank you for your continued support of this program. This is the 25th year of this partnership, and it was started by my predecessor, Doug McMurray, and Ms. Watson. So we are so thrilled to continue the legacy of building up small and medium-sized construction firms in our community, and we're just so grateful for your continued support. So thank you guys very much.
Thank you.
And then we have Manuel, who is representing our Small Business Committee.
Good morning, Judge. Good morning, Commissioners. I got some really good news for you. Don't worry about the budget because we got the lottery winners right here. So thanks to your investment in the program and your wisdom, because of those investments you're making, this county is going to prosper. So, Mr. Smith, make sure that Renee's budget is not affected by the Commissioner Rodriguez's thoughts, please, because we need to continue this program. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So we'll start just a few seconds. We want to have our proteges to say a few words, and we have all of them. So ASP, if you want to grab, and then your mentors come up with ASP. Come on, we on time.
All right.
Good morning, Judge. Good morning, Commissioners. This program has been one of a kind, very organized, challenging, forward-thinking. Our mentors were the best. They were patient with the process, passive-aggressive in a great way, and gave us a positive push that we needed to get to where we are today. We were a one-dimensional company only doing residential construction when we came to this program, and since this program, we launched our commercial division in October last year, and we've been awarded more than $400,000 in commercial and government contracts since then. So we thank Renee and we thank our mentors. Thank you.
This is a great program. I've had the honor of serving and donating time for the last decade with the proteges. There's always a moment, there's confusion at the beginning, and then there's this moment about 6 months in where the light comes on. And from then on, you see tremendous growth from them in a business way. It's just amazing. It's just a very nice program. Thank you for providing it.
Tell us, what's your company name? We didn't hear your company.
T&D Moravitz, concrete contractors. We are a subcontractor, so it's always good to train general contractors how to act.
Hello, good morning, Judge Sakai and Commissioners. My name is Roxanne Bettis. I'm the president of DD Services. We're an electrical contractor headquartered in San Antonio. So we been in operation since 2017, but when we were so graciously welcomed into the Bexar County Mentor Protege Program, my company hit full speed sprint. We went from a very conservative 2 to 4 employees to a solid running 20 full-time electricians in-house. We went from 0 bonding capacity to very proudly saying that I am closing out a $3 million bonded electrical scope project for Texas A&M Kingsville. And I've shared recently with the entire group, I had a vision of where DD Services and myself would be in that 2 to 5 year time frame. I've already hit those metrics thanks to my amazing mentors, Paul Petkin and Ashley Ruggles, and with the stewardship of Renee. So I have to go back to the drawing board now. I have to think bigger. I have to take all of the resources that this well-funded, well-organized mentorship program has afforded my organization, where I thought there are certain limitations in front of us and hurdles. Renee, Paul, and Ashley broke through every one of those barriers. They helped me to see beyond that. They helped me to redefine my company, restructure, set into place processes, procedures, and better alignment so that my organization continues to grow and to be successful. So I thank the judge, I thank all the commissioners for your continued support, for your continued funding of this program. I know were it not for this program, I would be living in the past, and right now, I'm blazing past the vision so that I can create a new vision for our organization, our employees, and especially for the work that we contribute to Bexar County, our higher education partners, and our local ISDs. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Paul Petkin with HCDT Insurance Agency, and this is my third 2-year cycle of participating in this program, and I always get back as much as I give and learn from the protege firms and just see what they put it all on the table every single day as they build their small business. And it's been my privilege to participate. And I think a shout out goes to Renee Watson, because she's the driving force behind this program. You don't know the hours that she puts in and shows up to every meeting and makes it happen.
Thank you.
I'm Ashley Ruggles. This was my first year in the program, and I can honestly say that I probably learned as much as Roxanne thought that we taught her. So I appreciate the support, especially with the consultants and Renee, and the guidance for the mentors as well. So thank you. Thank you for the funding, and this program is a great program. Just watching how DD Services grew in the 2 years that we were with her. So just appreciate it, the continued support.
Good morning, Judge Sakai and Commissioners.
Hope you love your office. Working out for you. I'm Yvonne Addison, president of Addison Prime. I founded the commercial general contracting company in February 2020. So we were immediately faced with uncertainty with our industry and just life in general. But we have persevered. Our team has grown. Since our participation in the Mentor Protege program, we have tripled our revenue. I saw Mr. Bandos here earlier. We've done over 30 projects with University Health. We've done several projects with Bexar County, including in this very building, in the building next door, and we're currently about halfway through renovations at the Criers Juvenile Detention Center, which is going very well, and I invite all of you all to stop by at some point and see how the progress is going. We've had a great team out there, subcontractors. We've actually also hired several of our fellow proteges to work with us, so it's a great opportunity to grow our community of contractors and subcontractors here in Bexar County and provide a place for families to grow and professionals to grow their careers and support their families here in Bexar County. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Kirk Kistner with AEC Pathfinders. This is actually my second mentor-protege relationship, and it's just, I appreciate that y'all fund this every year. It's such a fantastic program. The construction industry is an industry that's not necessarily getting bigger. We're fighting retirements all the time, and bringing new blood into our industry is fantastic. So thank you very much.
Good morning. I'm the president of Professional Constructors. We've been in business for almost 2 decades. Believe me, I have been involved in more than a handful of mentor proteges throughout our city, and truly, sincerely say that this program is one of a kind. We had been having, I guess, our growth was stunted, but after we got in the program, Renee's resources and team and the way the program was set up was what we needed to take it to the next step. Our administration, operations team has grown, and we're just excited and thankful and grateful for Ms. Renee, but we also know that it's your backup that helps her do what she has to do. Thank you so much.
Yeah, hi, my name is Bill Gilhausen with Frankenmuth Surety. This is like Paul, my 3rd cycle doing this. It's great. I want to not reiterate what everyone's been saying and say all the same things, but one thing that's nice is that years after this program ends, people are still calling us, our proteges are still calling us and asking us for advice. So it's a lifelong deal that you guys are helping support. Thank you.
Thank you. That's it.
Thank you, Judge. I want to thank Renee for bringing this program into the fruition that it has. It is wonderful to work with AGC on this mentor program. Thanks for all the volunteerism and all of the hard work of the proteges, because it takes work for you all to be in this on top of what you're already doing. And it's not easy to be a small business owner. Sometimes you got to be the janitor, the HR, the legal department, the CEO, the HR, you got to do it all. So I want to thank also all the support nationally that you all have been recognized for. It's obviously deserving. I think it's important to remind all of us in public policy that when these kinds of programs were created, government was supposed to be a stepping stone for our small businesses to get more opportunities to have other government and corporate entities, Coca-Cola, Nike, Microsoft. And you all will be able to take the relationships and the contract opportunities that you've had and continue to export and grow, not just, we hope, in San Antonio, although we hope you have a lot of jobs here, but we hope that you can expand across Texas and wherever your heart desires. So we'll keep pushing, and we want to thank you, Renee, and your team. You've got a great team at the department for the work they're doing every day. This is part of what makes serving in public service worth it, seeing these families and these business people grow. Thank you very much.
You and all your guests and the graduates who come to the podium and be recognized. I wanted to put on the record that Commissioners Court stands committed to our small businesses, which are the backbone of our community. And this program helps equip our residents with the tools to succeed. And I want to congratulate your graduates and wish them success in their endeavors, and to always remember to pay it forward and look for those that need the help that you've gotten. So with that, why don't you come forward, take a picture, and let's give them another round of applause. All right, thank you. Congratulations. You're welcome. Congratulations. Good job, girl. Good job. Girl job. Thank y'all.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Renee. Hey, good to see you.
Lauren, good to see you. All right, take care.
Thank you. Manny, good to see you.
Hey, man. Good to see you, brother. Thanks for being here. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you so much. Congratulations.
So, Commissioner Rodriguez,
I think we're good.
are we good? Can we get back?
I think we can go to 6A.
No, we got to go. We still have an individual pool, right? No, we still haven't finished consent.
We can go back to that after the time.
Do you want to go? Okay. Well, do you still want to pull the 12 or not?
I think it's time.
Okay, let's go to the time certain then. All right, tee it up. I know we're running a little behind. 9:30 p.m. time certain. Discussion appropriate action regarding motion to set 2025 ad valorem tax rate for Bexar County Hospital District, DBA University Health, and approval of an order of the Bexar County Commissioners Court setting the 2025 tax rate, levying the 2025 taxes for the Bexar County Hospital District, DBA University Health. It's Mr. Ed Banas.
Ed, Judge, can I?
Yes, Commissioner Rodriguez.
Ed and Reed, I don't know if you, I know we had this discussion several court meetings ago about keeping the tax rate. We'll have a further discussion when you come later in the calendar year on your budget. So I think this is kind of perfunctory. We've got to do this motion. Again, just to be clear, it's the same that we discussed several weeks ago, and that is to keep the tax rate the same. So I'm going to put this on the record, Judge. A motion that's required, the language is, it says, I move to approve an order setting the 2025 ad valorem tax rate for Bexar County Hospital District doing business as University Health for fiscal year 2026 at the existing tax rate of 0.276235 cents per $100 valuation, and approved upon each motion as follows. First, the maintenance and operation tax rate. I move to adopt the 2025 ad valorem tax rate for maintenance and operation at the rate of 0.23480 cents per $100 valuation of all taxable property situated in Bexar County, Texas. And as it relates to debt service tax rate, I further move to adopt the 2025 ad valorem tax rate for the principal and interest at a rate of 0.04144 cents per $100 valuation of all taxable property situated in Bexar County, Texas.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Rodriguez, second by Commissioner Clay Flores. Any further comment or questions? Commissioner Clay Flores.
Just thank you for the work that you guys continue to do. I look forward to the Vida building opening by the end of the year. Thank you so much.
Commissioner Moody.
Well, thank you for being here, and thank you for all of UHS's work here in Bexar County, giving back to our community. We've had a lot of great discussions, and I hope to continue those over the coming months with regard to public health services that UHS provides versus what Bexar County provides today in terms of staff, and also the discussions around your support and your work in the jail, mental health beds, medical services, and how we can better work together and partner to solve what is a challenging problem for our community. So I look forward to that, but thank you for everything y'all do and your leadership team, and thank you for being here.
Thank you. Commissioner Calvert.
Thank you, Judge. Good to see you both. Thanks again for all the work you're doing. I wanted to just have on the record for those who may have forgotten our exemptions. Where are we at in terms of our senior and homestead exemptions with the system?
For the homestead, we're at the maximum 20%, and for the over 65, we're at 30,000.
Okay, I just wanted to put that on the record. Thanks for working with us on those alleviations over the years, and We look forward to the vote. Thank you, Judge.
Well, let me just say thank you to Ed and your leadership as the CEO of University Health and University Hospital there, and your executive team. I think, Ed, you and I are pretty much in constant communication along with your board chair, Jimmy Haslocker, and we certainly have a strong leadership there on our board of directors of the University Health System. I think the public needs to understand that University Health is going to continue to have to take a leadership role in all the numerous issues that face the county, especially not only is it just access to mental health care, but not health care and mental health, also issues at the jail. And Ed, we continue to have discussions of how we can help deal with that particular circumstance. And then obviously with indigent care and the cuts to Medicaid and cuts to SNAP as it comes forward, our collaboration communication are going to be ever more important. And so thank you for your leadership, and thank you to your executive team. We have a motion on the floor by Commissioner Rodriguez, second by Commissioner Clayford. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signal by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Judge. Thank you, Commissioner. Appreciate it.
All right. I believe we're up at a 10 o'clock time certain. Is this it for this? Okay, that's, all right. So tell me, where do they go? Is it budget?
I assume it would be 6B.
Is it 6B?
Possibly.
Okay. And then what's your 9? Okay. Is there anybody else? That's it. Okay. All right, at this time, time certain, 10 a.m., public hearing. The Commissioners Court invites public input regarding the Bexar County proposed operating and capital budget for fiscal year 25-26. I do believe we have 2 citizens to be heard, and I will ask them to please step up. Mr. Antonio Diaz. I believe, and then Ms. Dana Uriegas. Are y'all want to come together, or y'all want to speak individually? Do you want to yield your time? Antonio? Speak individually, Antonio. You want to do that separately? What do y'all?
Individually.
What's that?
Individually.
Individually. All right. You have 3 minutes, Antonio. Go ahead.
Okay, Nilsi and Qualitrenesi. I'm not sure as to how our taxes will be used per se. As far as safety in our community, we're undergoing very traumatic experiences. We have a special date coming up, September 16th, where many celebrations will be for Mexico, for the Mexican community. And with all that's going on with federal legislations regarding deportations, detentions, we're wondering if our community will be safe enough to celebrate in public streets, or are they only safe in their private domains, where they can claim that they're being intruded upon illegally. So that is what I'm coming up to request, if there's going to be any type of funding to protect our communities during these events that we do in public, or are we out here totally on our own, fending ourselves against bounty hunters and ICE agents and all sorts of police entities that some of our community has no knowledge, or I myself am confused at times about what is going on. And I know this would be best addressed to the Federal Court of Immigration. But since this is part of what we're supposed to do for our community, is try to protect. So that's why I'm here today, at least to speak of this. I was unsure of my attire, but I chose this t-shirt as we wear. Now we've been wearing it more and more openly in the street, so that people can have some awareness of what's going on, not just here, but throughout the 50 states. There's much racism, prejudice, bigotry that is being imposed upon brown-skinned people. Even suggestions that we not even speak Spanish out and open. That, I think, violates our civil rights. None of this is being considered. And so that is why I chose to come and speak here today, being that it's a week from El 16. Y El 16 was Declaration of Independence, mainly of indigenous people, communities, Mexican communities from Spain. Even though it is Hispanic month, it is sort of incongruent because it was a revolution against Spanish conquest. We are an indigenous community, and we wish to be recognized with human rights. Thank you.
Thank you, Antonio. Diana Uriegas.
Good morning. Also, on this month, it'll be Grandparents' Day for all the grandparents. You know, we want to wish you happy Grandparents' Day, September the 10th. We indigenous people, we're from here. And the only commandment that says it all is love. We should unite. Humanity has to unite and love. Because without love, we're all hurting. Please, for the love of God, there is a God. Let's love each other. Stop hurting each other. And it's also going to be our 25th anniversary since 2015 that it was announced that indigenous people were here. It'll be our 25th anniversary this year. I'd like to sing to all the grandparents, if you don't mind, in my language. Las mañanitas en Nahua. Estas donen macuica chiquita yo aclané. Estos donen macuica chiquita yo alcalá. Oniwala Santa Clica Donatcito Donatzitli Chihuaro Tanotonansi Chiquitayo Waclane Manchisa Manchisa Kuali Chiquitayo Waclane Estos donen Macuica Chiquitayo Wacala Antonio López.
Thank you. Thank you, Diana.
Judge, God bless y'all and have a great day.
God
and
bless
a good Grandparents' Day tomorrow,
God bless you
September
too.
10th.
Thank you.
Judge, if you mind, thank you for your concern. I texted the sheriff. He's going to talk to you on your way out about your concern. Feliz mes de la patria. Yo, como todos los años, voy a celebrar el 16 con ustedes. Entonces, muchas gracias por estar aquí.
And
Thank
these
you,
are
thank you.
the calendars from our people. I have the old calendar and the Aztec calendar.
Thank you.
She was referring to the 25th anniversary of our Indigenous Peoples' Day March and recognition by the city and county since 2014. Thank you very much.
Thank
Judge,
you.
Judge, can I just say, I know
Sure.
it's uncustomary for us to respond to citizens to be heard, but I do appreciate the issues you raise. In San Antonio, which has such a incredible history of both indigenous and Latino history, this court must be there to protect the community from long-held, long-struggled over rights that are being stripped away at the Supreme Court. Justice Sotomayor was very clear in the trampling of the Fourth Amendment that is taking place, where you can come and question someone because of the color of their skin, the language they speak, where they work. This is wrong, particularly for Bexar County, but no matter what. And I hope that we can come together as humanity to realize that we're one people. We're living in a country where Senator Rand Paul of Kentucky and I agree that we should not be killing people at random, which came from he was criticizing the Vice President of the United States. We are living in very dangerous times. And for a city with the demographic population of San Antonio and Bexar County, we've got to figure out a way to protect our rights under the law. So we stand with you and thank you for being a voice of conscience today.
Thank you,
But
Antonio.
you also have to understand that we were genocidal here, and we had to.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Commissioner.
Thank you, Antonio. Thank you,
And
Diana.
we had to
All right.
change our languages.
All right, thank you. All right.
God bless you.
God
Remember,
bless. Kayla,
there is a God.
thank you. Kayla Carter.
Good morning, commissioners and fellow community members. My name is Kayla Carter, and I'm the founder and CEO of a nonprofit called For Her. I just wanted to come up here and say thank you. I know that we are included in the budget, the proposed budget for FY 25 to 26, completing out our ARPA dollars that have kept our doors open and kept mental health services available to community members, specifically women who are survivors of domestic violence, as well as those facing economic challenges. We provide economic empowerment workshops and peer support. So because of this funding, we're able to continue to provide our services despite the economic climate. Those dollars will continue through June of this next year. And so just also a reminder that we will have a gap in those resources to finish out our fiscal year next year. But I just wanted to say thank you for your time and dedication serving our community. Government is an instrumental part of making sure that our community stays safe and has access to the resources, not only to just survive, but to really thrive. And that's what our community center is all about, helping women move beyond their trauma and transform their lives and be able to create a better future for themselves and their communities. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kayla. All right, that completes the citizens to be heard on the budget. We'll take up now 6C, discussion appropriate action regarding the adoption of proposed Bexar County FY 25-26 operating capital budget, including the proposed changes, documented in a memorandum from the Budget Office dated September 8, 2025. Is there a motion on the floor?
Move for approval.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Clay Flores, second by Commissioner Rodriguez. Is there anything specific we need to put on record?
Yeah, you're talking about the budget. Yeah, it is. Let's just move for approval to adopt the Bexar County FY 2025-2026 operating and capital budget, including the changes to the previously filed proposed budget, which are documented in the memorandum from the Budget Officer dated September 8, 2025.
Second.
All right, there's a motion by Commissioner Coward, second by Commissioner Rodriguez. Now, there's a point of order, so Commissioner Clay Flores, will you yield your motion to Commissioner Yee?
Sure.
All right, so Commissioner Calvert, your motion's on the floor. Commissioner Clay Flores' motion withdrawn. Any further discussion, Ms. Tanya? Is there anything to present in light of from yesterday's work session and for this morning?
No, sir.
All right, you're asking for approval of the current proposed budget as concluding the change orders approved yesterday. Is that correct?
That's correct, Judge.
Any questions? Commissioner Rodriguez.
Well, Judge, I don't know, I didn't want to cut you short, Tanya, but do you have just kind of a brief overview? I know we've had a lot of a discussion, work sessions on the budget, what was discussed yesterday. I mean, just for, I think for the public's sake, can you maybe go over that for us?
Yeah, absolutely. So yesterday we presented the draft change memorandum that's up for your consideration today. We are ending our general fund balance at $225.7 million with a total budget of $2.8 billion countywide. That includes all funds, including the general fund. We are maintaining the
$2.8 billion.
Correct.
Did you say million? Okay, just wanted
billion. No, thank you for
just want to
pointing
make
that
sure.
Yes, thank you for clarifying. Hopefully I didn't say that. It's billion. So also we are maintaining the tax rate, and because of new values, we're able to grow a little bit for the next year. But taxes are technically, for existing values, technically on average going down, so there's no increase in taxes if you prove the tax rate today. We're maintaining the tax rate, adjusting it slightly between the debt for flood and for the M&O.
And then year over year, that's about the same as last year in terms of the total overall budget. 2.8 billion is
That's
about
correct,
what it was
Commissioner.
last year. Is that right?
That's correct, Commissioner.
Okay. And then, just briefly, some of the highlights. I know, obviously, a significant portion is funding the basic needs of the state that the state requires of us, public safety, the courts. That makes up roughly 80% of the budget or so?
About like 50 to 60% of your general fund budget.
Of the general fund dollars? Okay. Okay. And then I guess the other thing significant to mention is the budget also includes the recent proposal on the flood next generation warning system. Is that right?
That's correct.
About 20 million in the budget
21
for that?
million.
21 million.
Yes.
Okay. Great. That's all I got, Judge. Thank you.
Any further comments? Commissioner Moody.
Well, thank you, Tanya. I'm sure you and the rest of the budget office are excited about this day. I'll be brief because we've covered a lot of this, obviously, yesterday with the change memo and in previous work sessions. But, budgets are complex and require a great deal of work, and I just want to say thank you to yourself, to Tina, to David, the rest of your staff. I know you guys have done a lot of work over the past months.
Thank you.
Budgets are in essence like compromises of the court, and no one ultimately gets everything they want. I've said before, and I'll say it again, this isn't the budget that I would have written, but it has a lot of good positive things in it. For example, public safety investment. I believe there's 33 new law enforcement officers with the Sheriff's Office. We have 70 detention officers, most of which are held in contingency, 16 new constables, and obviously Commissioner Rodriguez just mentioned the investment when it comes to flood warning system, which is a huge priority, I think, for the community, given what we've seen over the past few months. This budget also continues the trend of flat to sometimes actual decreases in the top line budget numbers, which I think is a positive trend and speaks to some modest restraint when it comes to new capital projects. Obviously, in the previous year, we've had conversations around our overall debt burden, how we want to handle that as a county going forward in terms of the accounting process. But I think that is a positive in this budget and in last year's budget. Other positive is the tax rate remains unchanged. As we'll shortly address in the next agenda item, there's actually a real tax cut just based on the decreased values with the appraisal board. So I think that is obviously a positive for all of our constituents and for taxpayers. The others, the concerns I have, most of which I mentioned necessary yesterday in the change memo, were regarding just, there's still some unnecessary spending in my opinion, things that may be nice to have or we want to have. And obviously yesterday I voted no on some of those items that I felt were unnecessary. And again, at this point in time, we are spending more than we are taking in terms of revenues. We have a nice buffer built up in the general fund balance. I call the reserve fund whatever we want to refer to it as. But ultimately that will be depleted over time, as we've seen with the graph that continues to change, but the end state hasn't changed. That ultimately we will have more expenses than revenues coming in, and that fund balance will be depleted if we don't make significant changes as a court going forward. I think I noted it yesterday, but it's also important to note that those structural issues are further compounded by the ARPA cliff that we've talked about, because we haven't hit that yet. That's next year and beyond. So I would have liked to have seen more progress on making some of those tough decisions, saying no to some nice-to-have items in the budget, in this year's budget. I feel like we are, kicking the can on some of those tough decisions into future years, and those decisions will ultimately have to be addressed by this court. But again, I'll just finish by saying, it's not the budget that I would have written, but between the investments in public safety, the tax cut, and the flat top line, I'm inclined to support. So thank you.
Go ahead, Commissioner Claiborne.
I just want to thank again your team, and they're always sitting there so quietly, so I'm going to ask them to stand so they can be a little embarrassed. The budget team, if you guys can stand, please. They're so hesitant. Y'all can give them a round of applause. And I think some people from the HR team are here, so thank you as well. So thank you for all the work that you guys do with all the departments and all the elected officials. I also just really want to acknowledge, I believe we put $1 million in contingency for nonprofits as we continue to see the federal cuts. And we at the county level, at the local level, are going to have a step up for that. So we have placed $1 million in contingency. And I also want to make sure that county employees know that we did also approve, we're about to approve 3% COLA because of just the increases and everything. So thank you so much, and thank to our county employees who do the work that we sit up here and pass. So thanks so much.
Let me go ahead and close with my comments as county judge. This is my third budget in my third year of office in my first term, and so as I started, we really wanted to kind of get a back to basics type approach to the budget, and I want to applaud the budget office and getting that alignment and strategy in regards to how we are making the moral document as to what the use of our taxpayer monies. Let me just take a summary. I think my colleagues have pretty much said everything, and but I also want to kind of bring it all together and to also address some of the future issues, and I think Commissioner Moody, you have put that on the record. So today, we recognize that there are possible economic turbulence ahead with the ARPA cliff and a projected deficit in the coming years. As a result, as I've noted, we have held the line and live within our means. Last year's budget was roughly $2.8 billion, and we have maintained that level of spending of taxpayer money. And we've kept the tax rate static, flat for the last 30 years. And so therefore, I believe the county has moved forward in a very strategic way in regards to the economic necessities and the realities that we face. All the while, we're continuing to make strategic investments. And so let's not ever underestimate the fact that we must invest in public health, public safety, infrastructure, economic development, elections, and most of all, our county workforce with a 3% cost of living adjustment. And I believe, Commissioner Rodriguez, with your leadership, we were able to live within our means and boost the proposed 2% to 3% COLA for our employees. And I hope our employees recognize, sure, we would love to do more for you, but at the very least, we want to make sure that our employees are at least staying ahead on the cost of living indexes, and so and that they're not falling behind in regards to their budget issues within their homes. Obviously, we've made a significant increase in law enforcement and detention positions for the Sheriff's Office, increases for our constables. The court is always addressing the needs of our law enforcement to keep our communities safe. In wake of recent flooding, we are increasing the emergency management budget for training certification. We'll continue to assess our OEM personnel needs in the new FY and make the necessary investments. We're also making a major multi-million-dollar investment in the next-gen flood warning system in partnership with the River Authority. and I'll put on record, hopefully with partnership with the City of San Antonio, to improve our predictive flooding models and infrastructure for rapid response to significant rain events. I want to applaud our county manager, David Smith, who saw the opportunity and saw the fact that we are putting the needs of our citizens, especially in regards to climate change and the disasters that we have faced here locally and in the Hill Country. We know that our elections issues is very, very important as we have a fall election, and then we'll next year have the general elections. Furthermore, in the leadership of our new elections administrator, Michelle Carew, I believe we're making significant investments in improving our elections and voter registration infrastructure and placing a premium on accessibility and compliance with the law. In regards to our capital investments, improving our assets, improving county operations, building out infrastructure, improve mobility and public safety, we are there. Commissioner Clay Flores, thank you for highlighting the fact that we must be prepared for food insecurity and health access. I want to take a moment to highlight an important community investment we're making. Commissioner Clay Flores, you indicated that we're earmarking county-wide initiatives of $1 million to address those specific issues, especially in regards to your platform in regards to mental health. I plan to convene a key community stakeholders meeting this fall to support a strategy to mitigate food insecurity and disruptiveness to health access. And I don't know if Ed Bannis and his team is still in the room, but those are the discussions we have every day. I want to address the issue of housing investments in the next fiscal year. It really wasn't discussed, and I really want to put it on the record, so to speak. We're developing a Bexar County housing framework to serve the urban core pursuant to our agreement with the San Antonio Independent School District. And we'll probably next 30, 60 days be able to unveil that and put that out for the public. I believe our Economic Development Department through Robert Reyna is putting that together. The county has very impactful tools with our Public Facility Corporation, our Housing Finance Corporation, and the revenues tied to those tools. We're identifying ways to leverage these tools to support our community partnerships to build out affordable housing in our county. These tools, if optimized and streamlined, can generate additional revenues we can dedicate to projects that expand housing options and mitigate homelessness. I look forward to continuing this conversation with members of the court and the community in the fall as we begin to lay a critical foundation for building up the affordable housing stock here in Bexar County. While the county did not solicit capital projects from the community budget for the 25-26 budget, we still received several proposals. There may be other capital projects of interest, and I know the commission will bring them up in regards to the needs of their specific precincts and what their either amenities or facility needs are within their precinct. So many of these deserve due consideration. We need to look at it in the whole concept of what's good for the entire county, but it's important to note this court is committed to manage our debt load and try to not issue new debt. So this requires us to look through the lens of the reallocation of funds for existing projects on the books, and we will have that robust discussion throughout this coming budget year. So this conversation warrants a broader review of the capital projects. I look forward at the start of the new fiscal year to continue that. And so I want to, again, finally thank my colleagues, the county commissioners, for their hard work. This budget process is never easy. It does involve a lot of robust discussion, and I want to thank David Smith and the budget office and people that work in the trenches, our auditors, who have to deal with either the electeds or the department heads and the public and myself when we advocate and for the needs of our community. So with that, I urge the support and approval of this current budget proposal. Is there any final other comments? Otherwise, I will call for a vote. All those in favor of the motion, signal by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Thank you very much. All right. I believe then we go to a public hearing again. We're going to 6D? D. 6D. The Commissioner Court invites public input regarding the 2025 Bexar County proposed property tax rate. Are there any citizens to be heard in regards to the proposed property tax rate? We had called up those that wanted to have a discussion on budget. Hearing none, you have to sign up. If you don't indicate, I will then close the public hearing and put on the floor discussion appropriate action regarding and adopting for 2025 Bexar County property tax rate of 0.299999. I hope I said enough nines, and approval of an order of Bexar County Commissioners Court adopting the 2025 tax rate of 0.299999, consisting of a 0.23668 road and flood control tax rate and a 0.276331 general fund tax rate, and the levying for the 2025 taxes for Bexar County in support of its operating and capital budget for FY 25-26. Is there a motion?
Judge, I've got the language for that. We have to do a couple different separate votes here. So the first motion is to adopt a tax rate of 0.299999 cents, which is effectively a 2.2% decrease in the tax rate.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Rodriguez, second by Commissioner Clay Flores. Any further discussion on this specific motion? Hearing none, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Commissioner Rodriguez.
Yes, I further move, Judge, that the debt service component of the tax rate be approved at a rate of 0.042328 cents per $100.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Rodriguez, second by Commissioner Clay Flores. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Commissioner Rodriguez.
I also move, Judge, that the maintenance and operation component of the tax rate be approved at a rate of 0.257671 cents per $100 valuation.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Rodriguez, second by Commissioner Clay Flores. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries.
Lastly, Judge, I hereby move to approve an order adopting and levying the tax rate of 0.299999 for the year of 2025. Such tax rate consisting of a 0.023668 cents road and flood control tax rate and a 0.276331 cents general fund tax rate.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Rodriguez, second by Commissioner Clay Flores. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries. Does that conclude 6C? David Smith.
I just want to thank Commissioners Court for helping us get through. I especially want to thank Tina's team, Tanya, the budget and HR teams. They had to listen to my travails with satellite radios, as well as my redemption with an app called Radio Garden. They had to listen to that and more stories than they probably wanted to hear, but it's their hard work that makes this happen. So thank you.
Can we give them applause, please? All right.
Judge
Yes.
Sakai, I think it'd be even more heartfelt if David Smith would give us an example of the Afro pop that he listens to. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
All right. We'll stick to time certain. Kate, I know that we got to get back to the consent agenda items that we pulled, but for 10:30 a.m. public hearing. Again, we'll call for a public hearing. The Commissioners Court invites public input regarding the proposed East Ridge Special Improvement District located in Precinct 4. Are there any citizens to be heard in regards to the East Ridge Special Improvement District located in Precinct 4? You need to sign up to speak. Seeing that there are none, let's proceed to presentation, discussion, and appropriate action regarding an order creating the East Ridge Special Improvement District located in Precinct 4 after closing the public hearing. Ms. Shannon?
Good morning, Judge and Commissioners. Melissa Shannon from the County Manager's Office. So as the judge just mentioned, today's action is to approve an order creating the East Ridge Special Improvement District as proposed by the petitioner, Kingfish Development, LLC, who's represented today by Jeffrey Czar and Shad Smith, and George Peck with KCI. James McKnight, and Kevin DeAnda of Ortiz and McKnight. So just as a reminder to this body, on July the 8th, you approved a resolution of intent for this PID, awaiting the City of San Antonio approving a development and non-annexation agreement, which they did, a 30-year agreement, and that occurred last week on September the 4th. So this next slide is, maybe not. So you've got the backup that Kate just handed out, but this next slide is just an overview, explains what a PID district, how it's created, the statute, and the powers granted. So it's just an FYI slide. So the location, as was mentioned, is in Precinct 4. It's located on 99.18 acres near Calaveras Lake. The developer is seeking a 30-year term starting in 25 this year through 2054, and they are seeking ad valorem and sales and use tax authority. Currently, the land is valued as ag use, so we only receive $73 in annual general fund tax revenue from that. And the proposed development, 483 single-family homes. Commercial acreage is to be determined. There will be open and conservation space, and we'll get into the infrastructure, which you see listed out here. We'll get into those next details on the next slide. So the development reflects $15.6 million for streets, sidewalks, water drainage, $4.7 million in sewer infrastructure, and $350,000 in traffic signal and turn deceleration lanes, for a total of $20.6 million in public infrastructure. This will create $132.8 million taxable value when it's fully developed by 2036. And you'll also see the various revenues generated for the various taxing entities within Bexar County, as well as the PID over the next 30 years. And that is it.
Commissioner Calvert?
I want to thank all the hard work from the developer and their team and the community for helping us get to this point, and the county manager's staff that reviews these as well. And this is, I think, a big win for the county budget. We know that a lot of development can happen in our rural area because of the lack of sewer and those other infrastructure items or things that the county has not had the opportunity to invest in, but will through this finance tool provided to us by the state. So I move approval.
Motion by Commissioner Calvert, second by Commissioner Moody. Any further discussion? All right, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries. All right, that concludes items 6F and G. We'll take up 6H. Immediately following, we'll take up a public hearing. It's 10:53 a.m. The Commissioners Court invites public input regarding the proposed Sunshine Trail Special Improvement District located in Precinct 1. All right, we're open for a public hearing. Is there any citizens to be heard? Did anybody sign up to be heard? You have to sign up in order to be heard. I'll close the public hearing. It's 10:54 a.m. and open up with the President 6I, which is presentation, discussion, appropriate action regarding an order creating the Sunshine Trail Special Improvement District located in Precinct 1. Ms. Shannon.
So this is proposed, this PID is proposed by the petitioner Jen Holdco 24 LLC, with the developer as Leonard Homes. Leonard Homes of Texas Land and Construction LLC, who's represented today by Cliff Karam and Taylor Haig, along with Kevin DeAnda with Ortiz and McKnight. So just a reminder, you approved your resolution of intent on this project in April of this year, and we were awaiting the City of San Antonio's de-annexation development agreement, which also occurred last week on the 4th. So now we're able to move forward. Again, same as before, it's just a informational slide talking about public improvement districts. Next slide is talks about the location and the development. So the petitioner is seeking a 30-year term, 2025-2054, and also seeking ad valorem taxation and sales use and tax authority on this project as well, like the last one. This one is located in Precinct 1 on 99.49 acres outside of 1604 and just south of Pearsall Road. The land is also valued for ag use, and we've currently received $35 on that general fund tax revenue annually. So the proposed development, 770 single-family units, commercial acreage to be determined, and open conservation space again, and infrastructure development details. The development reflects $31.3 million for street, sidewalks, water drainage, $6.8 million for a sewer lift station, and $3.5 million in traffic signal and turn deceleration lanes. On those traffic signals and turn lanes will be on Pearsall and Kinney roads. So for a total of $41.6 million in public infrastructure. This will create $231 million taxable value when it's fully developed by 2036, and the revenue for the various tax entities is on the page, and that concludes the presentation.
Commissioner Clay Flores?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm checking with one of my staff about a question I had for this. If you guys can come forward, who's here for this? Thank you, Melissa.
Yes, ma'am.
So I believe y'all met with my staff, and you know that I always talk about amenities that are coming to Precinct 1, because for so long we've been left behind. So one of the reasons I support this is so that we can have more housing choice in Precinct 1, but also to support infrastructure in terms of sewers and stuff like that. So I just want public affirmation about having better amenities that we had discussed.
Correct. Good morning, Commissioners. Kevin DeAndo with Ortiz McKnight, representative for the developer Lennar Homes. This specific development, Sunshine Trails, will include public amenities for residents in the area. Specifically, there will be a 1-acre pool park that has already been dedicated via a master development plan that has been approved by both the city and the county. So that is on paper, will be included in this development. There will also be 2 open space areas that we are contemplating for use as some type of soccer field or potentially a small, running field for residents in the area.
And ample streets?
Ample streets.
For parking?
Ample parking, yes.
Okay, thank you. Move for approval.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Clay Flores, second by Commissioner Rodriguez. Any further comment or questions? All right, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries. Carry on. Get it done. All right. All right, let's get back to the consent agenda that we did not take up. Kate, I think the only one we had left was 12. So Commissioner Moody, let me tee it up. We got notification of payment to those employees of accumulated hours in excess of FLSA maximum level for an estimated $1,487,882, and approval of the appropriate budget transferring the amount of $365,333. Commissioner Moody. We were waiting for the sheriff. Yeah, it was waiting for the sheriff. Sheriff, we're on item 12. Where's the?
Yes, sir. Morning, Commissioners.
This is a little different, so I'm going to try to make it work. I just wanted to, without diving into the details on this specific information that's on the agenda item here, yesterday we had a conversation regarding overtime in FLSA with regard to the 10 additional sergeants, detention officers. Were you aware of that?
Yes,
You
sir.
and your team?
Yes, sir. Currently, those 10 sergeants positions that I believe we're in the process of being awarded them. South Tower, as you know, has never been staffed correctly. It was staffed because we believed it was going to be more seasonal in nature, but as it stands, that population is anything but seasonal. It's there to stay. And so we're looking for additional positions so that we can properly staff South Tower. Because right now, many of those positions are staffed on overtime because there's not enough people there. So now that we're adding these positions, that will certainly help. Certainly these 10 supervisor positions that I believe we're going to be awarded, those are 10 sergeants that now will be paying straight time versus time and a half. So that'll certainly help.
Yeah, and we're hopeful in that, but obviously my comments yesterday hinge on making sure that we do a better job in terms of working with data and breaking down, like, by rank, likely, in the detention facility in order to really be able to narrow down where the overtime's still coming in. And when we make investments specifically, at a rank, are we eliminating the overtime at that rank? Like, we'd like to have that certainty to see that, it is actually playing out the way we plan. But we need your help and your partnership in that because we need the data in order to be able to get that granular level of detail.
Well, certainly, Commissioner, please rest assured that coming up here and asking for more overtime money is not something that we enjoy doing. It's certainly not something that we take lightheartedly. And so absolutely, anything that we can do to continue to reduce it, because it is trending downward, anything that we can do to continue to reduce it, we absolutely will. But as you know, crime does what it does. This morning as we speak, my homicide unit and organized crime group worked throughout the night on solving a murder case that happened last night in Cinco de Mayo. They made an arrest on it this morning, but after having worked through the night, making the arrest, digging up the murder weapon that was hidden by the suspect, and then of course at the same time, I've got another group that's across town executing a warrant for fentanyl on a wanted felon with several felony warrants and weapons. So they are continuing to put in the work. We are, unfortunately, overtime is a necessity, but we hear you loud and clear that we will continue to do our best to reduce it and bring you the data that we have available.
Yeah, and I understand, obviously, on the law enforcement side, there's probably more uncertainty and variability when it comes to that overtime. We would hope that within the jail, there's a little more certainty because the jail's filled, and so if all those wings are open, like, either they're being staffed by somebody on overtime or they're being staffed by somebody who's not on overtime.
Sure.
Right, so hopefully we can get that level of clarity. I appreciate the commitment to work with us on that as we go forward. I'll move approval.
Second. Motion by Commissioner Moody, second by Commissioner Calvert. Any further
Thank you, Judge. Thank you, Commissioners.
or to individual? Oh, I'm telling you. It's been a good, crazy morning, hasn't it? All right. Agenda item number 7, filing for the record the following legal and administrative documents directing the Criminal District Attorney's Office to take action if necessary for those items listed A through G. So noted. Commissioner, take agenda item number 8, Commissioners Court minutes for Tuesday, August 26, 2025.
Motion approved.
And September 2nd, 2025. Is that in your motion, Commissioner Rodriguez?
Approved, yes.
Second by Commissioner Clay Flores. All those in favor of the motion, for the motion, signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries. Communication, agenda item number 9. Is there anybody here on citizens to be heard in general? Citizens to be heard? Hearing none, let us now move on. Let's move on now to individual. I believe on page 12 of the agenda. First up, agenda item 49, discussion appropriate action regarding approval and execution second amendment to the implementation and deployment of services agreement for Workday HCM payroll software between Bexar County Accenture LLP in the amount of $2,019,000 to provide for the work required to move the county from a semi-monthly to a bi-weekly payroll schedule and to ensure sufficient testing and transition activities, including the attached budget transfer. Mr. Gager, you have the floor.
Good morning, Judge. Good morning, Commissioners. Thank you. Mark Gager, Chief Information Officer, BCIT. So I'll start with a quick background. I think we've gone through this before, but our current human capital management system, which is HCM, the acronym you'll see in here, and payroll system, is a legacy system. It's SAP. It's old and aging and needs to be replaced. So BCIT worked with the auditor's office, purchasing, the budget department, HR to go out for an RFP in 2021, and we ended up selecting Workday as the new modern human capital management and payroll system. And that contract was approved by Commissioners Court in January of 2024. Workday is the product, and our implementation partner is Accenture. So what is Workday at Bexar County? It's the new modern human capital management and payroll system that will serve all Bexar County employees. It replaces SAP, NeoGov, which is our recruitment system, as well as many others. And it's going to be the primary system that employees would go to update their benefits elections, to view their pay, get their W-2s, that kind of stuff. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time on the scope, but as you can see here, there's a lot of stuff that's moving to Workday from a functionality standpoint, or core human capital management functions, payroll, leave of absence, time off, benefits. But there's also some new stuff that's going to be coming to Workday, the ability to have a system that can accommodate performance management and some others. So our current timeline to go live, and again, today, where I marked today on this slide is off because I created this presentation at the end of August, but we're at the beginning of September. We have a few major milestones that are upcoming in order to get us to go live. Right now we're in the middle of doing a lot of validation, data validation, continued training. We need to build a training tenant, which is basically the environment that work will happen in. We have our go, no-go decision, which is our formal decision, which we expect to be a go based on how we're tracking on October 22nd. And then we would go live with Workday December 20th, and that's kind of, people may ask, why is that happening right before the holidays? But Workday only goes live at the beginning of a quarter, right? So that would be paycheck reflected, the first paycheck in January. And we are moving to a bi-weekly paycheck cycle. So if you have any questions around that, I think Leo may be able to answer those. But we're moving from semi-monthly to bi-weekly as part of this shift. So instead of getting paid on the 1st and the 15th, we'll be getting paid every 2 weeks after we go live. So some of the key deliverables that are in the amendment, and I'll just touch on these, inclusion of new data sources. So originally we were going to go live this summer, but we did recognize that there were more data sources than we knew of that needed to be incorporated as part of the data migration. There's also some data quality and testing that we wanted to make certain passed at a certain level. We're talking about employees' pay, their benefits elections, and we want to make sure that is passing at a high level. So we did bring in some additional resources from Accenture to help with that data quality, as well as resources from other offices and departments to help with that validation and testing. There's a new tenant delivery, and that basically means that we need to stand up a new environment to handle all of that testing as well as our training. And then incorporate the configuration to move to a bi-weekly pay. That's included in this amendment as well. And then the extended project services, our project management, our change management, and those functions that we need for this 6-month extension. So the cost breakdown, this is just a highlight. There's 4 additional deliverables or milestones as part of this extension, milestones 16, 17, 18, and 19, and I won't go through all the details here,
but you can see 3 of them they're kind of spread apart by the work that's included. So it's $550,000 for the first, second, and third milestone that's included in this change order, or milestone 16, 17, and 18, and then the last one is $369,000. We did recognize project savings in other projects that will cover this extension. Again, this is an increase to the original budget for this project, but we did recognize some project savings that we're able to use to cover this extension. So I have Workday here, or Accenture here with me today, as well as our head of project management office for BCIT. If you guys have any, specific questions about the project itself, above and beyond what I covered here, but I do move for, or we do recommend approval of this item.
I'd like to make the motion for approval. Do I need to read all this? I don't have to. Okay, move for approval. And I just want to thank you for all the work. I know some of this has been a headache, so thank you for all the work. We want to make sure that there are no glitches, so that when people get paid at the end of the year, there's no issues. So thank you.
Yes, Commissioner, thank you.
Just quickly, Judge. Mark, I want to make sure I heard you correctly, because there's been a lot of numbers thrown at us today. I think you said the budget, this project's budget neutral because you're just moving money from savings from other projects within your department. Is that what I heard correctly?
That's correct. Yes, sir.
Okay. Very good. That's good news.
Yes.
Thank you, Judge.
Commissioner Moody?
I'm working again. I'm back up. We've obviously gone through Odyssey and some of the other IT system implementations. There's been growing pains. What do you see the risk here versus some of the previous implementations, and how do we minimize those glitches or challenges as much as possible?
Yeah, a lot of it is some of what I touched on here. Is a lot of it's the data, especially when we're migrating data from other systems to new systems, which is why we felt like we needed to extend this to make sure that we did a really superior job from a data quality standpoint and a validation standpoint, to make sure that we're not having issues with the data itself. But to be honest with you, a lot of the changes sometimes are just the learning curve. There's going to be new ways of doing business in this new application. So employees that are hourly employees now will need to enter their time, and they'll need to enter their time timely, right? So,
and I'm glad you touched on that, because sometimes you can think about it from an IT standpoint, but it's a behavioral standpoint, right? And the IT implementation can be spot on and seamless, but if we don't do the change management on the people side and make sure that people are prepared and everyone's trained up and ready to go, I think that's where we'll have challenges. So anything we can do to de-risk that further, I think I'd be supportive of it.
I appreciate that. And Budget Office was very supportive last year. We got a position for an organizational change manager in BCIT, and that individual was focused on this project. We also brought staff augmentation in to help with the organizational change management side on this project, as well as Accenture has a change management practice, and they're involved with change management. So that was a lessons learned from the ECGIS implementation that we really tried to incorporate in this Workday project. But we'll need to do that on all of these major implementations, even the minor IT implementations. You're right, the organizational change and the behavioral aspect of it is often the most critical aspect.
Thank you.
Commissioner Coward? All right. As I recall, David Smith said something earlier. Does this still apply? No work day, no paid day. Does that still apply, David? All right. Just wanting to let the county know that's the way it's going to work. So, Mr. Gage, you ready to go?
Yes, sir. We're ready to go.
All right. There's a motion, a second on the floor. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. We're going to item 50. Presentation, discussion, appropriate action regarding the Workforce Solutions Alamo 2025-26 program year budget. Marshall?
Good morning, Judge and Commissioners. My name is Marshall Pope, Coordinator of Economic Development for Bexar County Economic Community Development. Today, we're have for consideration the Workforce Solutions Alamo budget for fiscal year 25-26. And today I have Brandy Perez and Teresa Chavez with Workforce Solutions Alamo to make this presentation. So I'll turn it over to them.
Good morning. Thank you. So this slide outlines our vision, mission, and values of Workforce Solutions Alamo. The board aligns the strategic vision with TWC State Action Plan to ensure our efforts are focused and effective, illustrating confidence in our mission. We focus on three key pillars. We are Texas talent experts, service optimizers, and partnership managers. Through those three pillars, we have served over 85 visitors in our 16 workforce centers in our Workforce One bus, providing over 385 total services, and we serve daily over 14,000 children through our Child Care Services program. We support quality child care centers through initiatives like these outlined here. Through those initiatives, I want to also outline some of our additional program accomplishments. In our 13-county region, we have a 3.7 unemployment rate, which is below the state rate by 4%. The state rate of 4%. I'm sorry. Also, in the region, we've added nearly 41,000 additional jobs in our workforce. So I'm going to hand it over to Brandy so she can break down the budget.
Good morning, Commissioners. So last week, this is one of several budget approvals that we are going through. I want to thank Commissioner Clay Flores for her support last week at the Committee of Six that did approve the recommended budget from staff. This year has been a little bit challenging, as many of us are aware. The federal grants, which is how WSA receives the bulk of our funding, have been cut. And so we did and have projected a 13% decrease in some of our major grants. TANF did actually have an increase, so that is one of our grants that we did see a small increase of about 0.07%. And then we still have not received our funding allocations from the TWC for SNAP Employment Services. So we did budget those at a 13% and then the same amount for as the current year. We did, because of these funding cuts at the federal level, we did reduce our corporate expenditures between 8 to 10%. We were trying to minimize our impact to service delivery, and then we did try to keep our reserves at the same levels as previous fiscal years. So today we are asking and seeking approval for our overall $192 million budget. This does show the breakdown of where our expenditures are at. Our corporate cost is at $8.7 million. Our facility costs, so those 16 facilities that we have in the 13 counties, as well as our mobile bus, is roughly about 6.3. We do have a reserves of about 12.3, and most of that is for child care expenditures, and that's just because many of our grants overlap our fiscal year. We want to ensure that we do have funding to support and continue to support the children in our communities. We do have a small initiatives of about 529, and then an overall service delivery budget of $164 million. There was a $19 million decrease from the current fiscal year in service delivery. A bulk of that, again, is in child care and in our Ready to Work program grants that we received from the City of San Antonio. So as mentioned, our corporate costs, there was a decrease of $1 million. We do have 50 FTEs in our budget. Our budget does include a cost of living of a 3% as well as an incentive for our staff. And then we did decrease our professional services by 12.9% of $252. Our facility workforce centers, there was a small increase of 6.7, and that's just because we have many leases that cover through the current fiscal year. But we did complete many of our build-outs, and so some of those we made some adjustments there. As always, we want to make sure that we do have contingencies. We know we are located in South Texas, and our HVAC systems often start aging and start going out, and so we want to make sure that we have dollars there to support that, and then any other maintenance that may occur at some of our centers. We also have several initiatives. Red, White, and You is a big initiative that we do in November for many of our military. We also have our Summer Earn and Learn programs and teacher externships. We have currently budgeted our 12.3 reserves, and the bulk of that being in child care of $9.4 million. Our service delivery did decrease by $19 million. Most of that, again, was for Ready to Work of $9.2. So we rebaselined that. We went from a 3-year contract to a 1-year with the City of San Antonio to serve those individuals. And then our initial estimates in child care is roughly about $9 million. This is our allocation by the counties that we currently serve. The first column does include Ready to Work, and the second column excludes Ready to Work because that is only a Bexar County initiative. So again, today we are requesting approval of our $192,305,381 budget. And I will answer any questions at this time.
Any questions, comments? Mr. Flores?
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and make a motion for approval, and then I have some comments. So I'd like to move for approval to accept the approval for fiscal year 25-26 annual budget in the amount of $192,305,381.
Second. Motion by Commissioner Flores, second by Commissioner Rodriguez. Do you still want to make further comment?
Yeah, so I think this is about the third or fourth time we're engaging in this, so thank you for being concise so that we can go through it. I know it was a quick presentation, but we cannot gloss over the fact that certain of the federal grants were cut by 13%, and then you said child care was a decrease of $9 million. So this is really important because of the chaos at the federal level. Then we're having to figure out what to do. And we know that child care is already not funded as well as it needs to be so that people can get back to work. And so with this decrease, what's going to happen with all those kids?
So what's going to happen, TWC reset our targets this year. So we already know we are going in this year at a new target of less than 1,400 children that we're going to be serving.
Wow.
So we are working through that. Oftentimes those are done through attrition. So summer months being our highest months, so we do start seeing those decreases to meet the target. But TWC sets those targets, and that's what we have to go by. We're always looking to find other ways if there's additional partnerships in the community. We are exploring opportunities through Ready to Work to see if that could offer support. But we're continuing to try to advocate where we can the fact that childcare is needed in this community. But we do target that 1,400 children are coming up in this fiscal year because of those decreases.
And in some counties, wasn't there already a waiting list to get into our child care? So now there's going to be 1,400. So that's just really important. So I just need people to recognize that as we push forward and prioritize things that we really need to support. And since you guys are here, I just want to thank you all. I've said this before when I've spoken like at the last ribbon cutting, but the work that Workforce Solution Alamos does is vitally important. It really helps people to get jobs who otherwise would not have the access. I tell the story of a friend of mine who moved his brother here who was IDD, and in other states, no one gave him an opportunity. And it was here, after he met with you all, that you all hooked him up with some resources, and he was gainfully employed, had his own apartment. Unfortunately, he has since passed away because of complications. But the work that you guys do is just really important, so I want to thank you, and I'm happy to support this budget moving forward.
Thank you.
Commissioner Moody?
Appreciate you guys bringing this forward, and unfortunately I wasn't able to participate in the brief being overseas. However, just a couple things I wanted to ask about the timeline process here. So typically there's kind of a slide that lays that out, but where does this go next and how does this get finalized?
So this is one of the last approvals we have. We do go to City Council next week, September 18th, and we are going to go back to the area judges at the end of September.
Okay. And I was under the impression there were some questions or concerns raised by the county judges. Have those been resolved? Or?
Yes. So the questions that they had concerns with were our recommended staff COLA of 3% and the incentives. We know that they voted the current budget to reduce the COLA and no incentives. However, we are still working through that. That committee of 6 did push back the recommendation of the staff. That's why we're going to go back to the area judges at the end of this month.
Okay. I would encourage you to continue to work with them. And they're an important part. Obviously, Bexar County makes up the majority in terms of population of the district, but we want to be good partners with the county judges as well. No further questions, Judge.
Robert?
I'm good, thank you.
All right. Well, let me just thank the Workforce Solutions, Alamo. The Committee of 6, obviously, for WSA already has met and approved the WSA annual budget. Obviously, according to the WSA's bylaws, require us, the Commissioners Court approval, in order to adopt their budget. So I want to commend Commissioner Clay Flores for your involvement as to helping direct that budget, for their work in supporting workforce development and child care in Bexar County throughout the region. Obviously, as a child welfare advocate, child care is a necessary element of infrastructure for our economic growth, for our employees, for our small business and our major employers. Often, too, just put on record, that is an issue that is often brought up in talking to potential businesses or industries that look to our community is what is there to support child care, especially in those areas that have been underserved in the past. And Commissioner Clay Flores, I know in Precinct 1 and Commissioner Cow in Precinct 4, y'all are mindful of that. And so I appreciate y'all's leadership in regards to child care. So as we continue to see growth in advanced manufacturing sector, we continue to hear employers talk about these major needs, child care and a skilled labor pool. So WSA remains a critical partner in our work to sustainably grow our economy by investing in the training and the development of the working class people who drive it. So I believe there's a motion on the floor by Commissioner Clay Flores, second by Commissioner Rodriguez. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor of the motion, signal by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries. Thank you very much. Tell Mr. Agent Lopez hello for me.
I also want to thank Marshall for your work on this. And yeah, you know, okay.
Right. Thank you, Marshall, and the Economic Development Department. 51, a discussion appropriate action regarding an update on design progress of certain projects within the Facilities Management Capital Program. Requesting authority to advertise invitation for bids for the following: A, ADC Adult Detention Center Unit Railing; B, Courthouse Elevator Replacement; C, Vista Verde Elevator Generator Replacement; D, Expansion of Judicial Supporting Functions; E, Juvenile Detention Fire Sprinkler Replacement. Mr. Dan Curry.
Judge, thank you very much. Dan Curry, Director of Facilities Management, for the record. As we do every quarter, we come back to you guys after a discussion that happened last year in the budget cycle about our capital program, apprising you of projects that we have on the design table that are about ready to be released for bidding. So, and get your authority to advertise those in the next upcoming quarter. So this is our regular quarterly update, the fourth one we've done for this year. So the projects that we're completing design during this quarter, the first one, as you mentioned, Judge, is the ADC unit railing project. This adds railing to the upper level, kind of from the handrail to the ceiling portion of the upper tiers of Tower A of the jail. It prevents, catastrophic injury potentially, or somebody trying to harm themselves at those units. We think it's a safety measure that the Sheriff's Office is in favor of, and we look forward to deploying it in A Tower. And if it's beneficial to us, we come back to you for future projects for B and C Tower as well. Courthouse elevator replacement. I think everybody can talk about this one. Yes.
Those elevators down the hall?
Yes, exactly. Those three elevators down the hall. So again.
Oh, but they're so pretty.
They are. So
are you going to keep the historic part of it?
We're going to upgrade the cap finishes. We're also taking the two elevators on the end, which is a small claustrophobic inmate elevator.
I heard that, Judge Sakai.
And elevator 3, and combining it to a elevator that'll accommodate a gurney, so we can have some safety transportation in there. Again, we've had this in design, and we're about ready to release that.
Safety over beauty.
What's that?
Safety over beauty.
Unfortunately, sometimes we have to make those decisions, Commissioner, yes. So, Vista Verde elevator generator replacement. We actually presented this project to you about 4 months ago. We didn't think at the time it was probably on the priority list. We believe it's about time to release that project, so we're bringing it back to you for approval. D is the judicial supporting functions expansion. I know you guys had the Family Justice Center up here earlier today. This actually builds out space for them in the bottom floor of the archives garage and the shell space we have allocated for them with a dedicated entrance for those FGC functions. It'll give us space back on the second floor of the archives building for the expansion of the public defender's office, as well as relocating the managed sign council office to the archives building so we can have kind of those judicial supporting functions all in one space. So we'll have that project ready as well. And then, of course, the Juvenile Detention Center. This is at 600 Mission Road. This is a sprinkler head replacement. We're in the middle, the throes of sprinkler head replacement at our main jail detention campus, going very well. So we hope to copy that to kind of progress at the Juvenile Detention Campus to make sure this is a compliance-related item because the escutcheons that are on the sprinkler heads, the escutcheons are technically part of the sprinkler head. If the escutcheon is missing, it's not a compliant head. Now, that's a code-related thing. So we're installing these new heads, and these heads are also recessed heads, so they can't be damaged by juveniles or inmates through tampering with them. So again, we're asking for you guys' approval to advertise IFBs for these 5 projects: the ADC unit railing project, courthouse elevator replacement, Vista elevator generator replacement, judicial supporting function expansion, and the Juvenile Detention Center sprinkler head replacement project.
Commissioner Coward.
Thank you, Judge. I just had a couple questions related to the courthouse. I was bumped into some staff that were a part of the rotating judges, and they don't have a permanent courtroom. What is the vision for helping that courtroom space, reach permanent space in the buildings we have?
Yeah, so as you know, we have a lot of requests for courtrooms, whether they're impact courts, magistrate courts, and all those other things. We've been working with the judiciary and having conversations about what the best path forward is. We have a lot of different options, Commissioner, and I'm sure we'll be bringing those recommendations officially to the court for direction. Our first step is to get the child support courts consolidated, and that will vacate a court in the courthouse on the 4th floor, which I know Judge Rangel on the criminal side and Judge Alvarado on the civil side are debating on internally on which is the best, highest use for that space. We also have some other projects that are about to finish design that are on the books that are ready to be funded for construction for the basement and 3rd floor courtrooms. And long term, we think that building as many courtrooms as we can in the existing campus is much more cost efficient than trying to build a new courthouse. So we're talking hundreds of millions of dollars for that. So we're going to leverage every square inch of this place before we go outside of its walls. So.
And then the recurring common thing that everyone always talks about is the bathrooms. I haven't had the conversations over the odors, but where are we at on updates there?
So the 4th floor restrooms are under construction. We're putting them back together right now as we speak. The 2nd floor restroom demolition and construction are at purchasing right now with Galloway's team to schedule an IFB for those releases, and then we'll do the next set as soon as those get released. So we're trying to piggyback on those. We know we're late on those. We know it's taken too long, and in our office we recognize we're going to accelerate that process.
Comments, Commissioner Moody? Commissioner Rodriguez.
Judge, just real quick, Dan, on item D, tell me again, I know you're potentially moving folks around. Where are those folks moving to, or how's that space being reconfigured potentially?
For the D?
D, I'm sorry.
Yeah, so right now the plan is the 2nd floor of the archives building is currently occupied by the Family Justice Center.
Right.
So we're gonna build out purpose-built space for the Family Justice Center on the bottom floor of the archives garage. So when we initially built out space for BCIT, it was going to be the entire footprint.
Right.
But Mark's team worked with us about work from home.
The new garage.
Hot desking, the new garage. So there's half of that space that's still unoccupied. So we're going to build out space. It's about 11,000 square feet for the Family Justice Center with a separate entrance off of Stumberg so they can have a dedicated entrance for their functions. We're going to backfill the space on the 2nd floor of the archives building with the public defender's office. They need space. Currently, they're in a couple corners of the Paul Lozano Tower on the 3rd floor. And then again, the other piece of this project is building out the Managed Assigned Counsel office space dedicated on the 3rd floor of the archives building. So it used to be before we had a gym, there was an old gym space up there. It was used by Probate Court 3 for a short amount of time. So we're going to renovate. So the San Antonio Bar Association and the Managed Assigned Counsel will occupy the 3rd floor of the archives building. That'll give us capacity at the courthouse annex and the PET to backfill with, I know we have a lot of demands for specialty court staff and other court supporting functions. We hope as we get these moves happen, we can accommodate a lot of those needs from those courts.
Okay. And then this has been great to have kind of the planning by quarter. Do you have yet identified for next quarter which would be some of the bigger ticket items that you'd let out? Do you have that yet, or is that still in
Yeah,
planning
so everything's
phases?
based on the design process. So as these plans, it takes about 6 months. So we started design in about 2 quarters. We'll have the authority to request. Our next update, what we could do is we could probably future forecast and give you a peek
I don't need
at what's
it right
coming
now.
up.
I'm just, I know that the Adult Detention Center obviously has a long list of issues. I would imagine some of those will be in the next quarterly update as well.
Yeah, one of the big ones is replacing the motor control center and the electrical switchgear equipment, which is almost a $7 million project.
Okay.
That really keeps that place electrified. So that's one of the ones that'll be on our next list.
Okay, that's great. Thank you, Dan, for the update. Thank you, Judge.
Dan, let me just kind of put this on the record for my colleagues. In regards to the courtroom spaces, that's always, having been a former district court judge, that's always a sensitive subject. I have worked with Dan in trying to figure out how to repurpose, how to expand, renovate, move people around. Let me just let the court know that there's not going to be any unanimous consent of the judges. In fact, judges will have their own agendas, especially individual judges. So they may well be conferring with you and asking for certain things. I will tell you that in working with Dan, I have had my conversations at the highest levels with Judge Harrell as the regional administrative judge, Judge Jackie Valdez, the local administrative judge, and then the senior judges, Judge Alvarado with the civil courts, Judge Ronell with the criminal courts, and Judge Vada with the county courts of law. And so I will tell you, it is just going to be a complex puzzle, so to speak, of how we can accommodate. I will tell you that as county judge, the focus will always be on the courts that have the greatest impact on the jail and moving cases out of the jail. So I will tell you right now, we've got a second pre-indictment court that we have approved that really is waiting for a courtroom. And so that court has yet to go online, so to speak. So Dan, I just want to remind you and the court that we have a second court to help jail population. And that was the purpose of creating that second pre-indictment court. And so that is a high priority. We also know that it may require that court to come over into the historic courtroom, which is typically the civil district courts. We'll have to figure out how, on the long term, to move those courts. If that is to be, that we'll have to move it back to the Criminal Justice Center. And so, Dan, we just have a ongoing issue of how to move people around and how we can move courts out. I believe on the long term, we have the annex, which is the building down the street there across from federal courthouse. That is being looked upon as possible court spaces happening. We also got renovations right now ongoing on the 5th floor. I believe Judge Harrell has allowed his 2 child supports to collapse into one courtroom, and I appreciate Judge Harrell's cooperation there. But I will tell you, it's a moving equation, so to speak, and then having judges advocate what they want individually is very, very difficult. So I just wanted to let y'all know that we're doing our very best to accommodate the whole system as a whole. Commissioner Calvert.
So, Judge and Dan, there is one small space that might be a temporary space that could be fitted for, we have our precinct for second courtroom space, known as a hearing room, right? And so if there's a high traffic court that helps alleviate the jail traffic that needs a more permanent space, depending on the JP, obviously, consultation on their current usage, it might be a space that could be a permanent, one that doesn't rotate as much as some of the others have had to. So just a potential thought. So.
Okay.
All right, I think there's a motion on the floor. Hearing no further discussion, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Item 52 has been pulled and deferred. We'll go to 53. Discussion, appropriate action regarding Bexar County Legislative Program and the 89th session in Texas Legislature. Ms. Shannon.
Melissa Shannon again with the County Manager's Office. So Judge and Commissioners, today I'll be going over the closeout report for the 89th second special session. I'll go over bills with an impact to the county as well as any other bills of interest. So as you remember, just as a reminder, the governor called for the first special session to begin on Monday, July 21st, and that went for 26 days and adjourned without any action. And that adjourned August 15th, and I think it was in the morning, maybe like 10-ish, I don't remember the exact time. But the second special session then began that same day on August 15th at noon. And it lasted until this last Thursday morning at about 1:30 a.m. They finally adjourned. So in all, on the second special, there were 404 bills filed, and I sent a listing of all, there were 21 bills that went to the governor's desk. I sent a listing of all of those bills to your offices last week in my weekly email. I'm also working on a closeout report like I did for the regular session, a report of the bills that affect county fiscal operations, which I hope to get out via the County Connection distribution listing this afternoon. But the issue on that is that we're in the veto period on some of those bills, and that veto period runs through September 24th. I will be on vacation when that veto period happens, so I wanted to at least get that bill list out to offices and departments so they could be aware of potential impacts to their operations. Because most of the bills in that report, it's only a 2-page report, and I don't remember off the top of my head. I think there were like less than 10 bills that affected county operations, and the majority of those have not been signed by the governor yet. So we're waiting on those to be made effective, or the veto period to run out, and they're automatically effective. So as soon as then I'm back in the office after vacation, I'll update that report with those effective dates. But at least offices and departments will know in the next day or two. So as far as county impact, the first bill is HB 16. It's a comprehensive judicial reform measure that creates and restructures courts and judicial administration across Texas. How it affects Bexar County, it does so by raising the statutory county court jurisdictional limits to $325,000, where they were at originally at $250,000. It mandates that court security committees adopt emergency management plans, and it requires prosecutors to submit information to the Office of Court Administration. This bill is still pending. It was sent to the governor on August 28th, so it's still pending. SB 5, it appropriates funding for a 2-year period from the Economic Stabilization Fund, also known as the Rainy Day Fund, to the governor's office for various grants. One of which is $200 million for FEMA matches for funding received related to disaster response, relief, and recovery. The next one is $50 million to counties impacted by the July 4th flooding event to establish and implement a system of flood warning systems and flood gauges and the purchase of other related equipment. Bexar County is in those counties impacted, so we will be eligible for the $50 million in grant funding. And then lastly, $28 million for enhanced atmospheric measurement and modeling techniques to improve meteorological forecasting. It enhances weather intelligence and forecasting accuracy and improves flood management timelines for flood warnings. This one was just sent to the governor today. So it took a bit, had to go through the comptroller's office, and it went to the governor's office today. So we're still awaiting final effective date on that one.
Judge, can I ask a quick question? Melissa,
Yes, sir.
on SB 5, So the 50 million that was included as a grant, I can't remember, did they specify counties that were eligible?
Yes, sir.
And you're saying Bexar County was in that?
Bexar County, it's those that were included in that disaster declaration for the July 4th flooding. So I can read them out to you, but it's basically Kerrville, Burnett, Comal, the counties in that area.
So does it either include or prohibit, I guess, grant money for reimbursement if we've already expended the money?
I would assume so, but let me follow up. Because generally the way most of those bills are written, you know, it'll say, well, no, now that I say that, because it's a July 4th event. So,
I mean, I guess,
that's a good question.
I guess in our case, we've not expended the money. It's appropriated.
But if they specify an effective date of this month, then...
Either way, 50 million is not a whole lot when you look at the needs. And so... I think I'm just asking because when I had conversations when I was in Austin 2 weeks ago, it sounded dire that we would get any money back. But even if we did, it would be probably a fraction of what we're spending, which is the 21
That's where y'all were advocating to try and get the additional funding that didn't get in. So yes, sir. It sounds like a lot of money, but there's a lot of need in those 15, 12 counties to go around.
Okay. That's all I wanted to
But I'll follow up this week, and in my weekly report, I'll put an item in there and give you more details on the timing.
Okay.
Else, Melissa? Any other?
So I've still got some more. So SB 8, also known as the Texas Women's Privacy Act, it requires state agencies, schools, universities, and political subdivisions to designate multiple occupancy restrooms, locker rooms, and changing facilities according to biological sex, with the definition of biological sex tied to reproductive anatomy, not gender identity. It also directs that inmates are housed according to biological sex. So there are some exceptions. Designation of a multiple occupancy private space does not apply to custodial purpose, a maintenance or inspection purpose, to render medical or other emergency assistance, to accompany and provide assistance to an individual who needs assistance in using the facility, for law enforcement purposes, or to render assistance necessary in preventing a serious threat to proper order or safety. And then the last one is, or a child who is 9 years of age or younger and accompanied by an individual caring for that child. There are civil penalties tied to this. Political subdivision or state agency is liable for a civil penalty of $25,000 for the first violation and $125,000 for the second or subsequent violations. Each day of the continuing violation constitutes a separate violation. That one was sent to the governor on September 4th, so we're also waiting for effective date on that one.
Judge.
Yes.
So how is that going to be enforced? We're going to police bathrooms now?
It seems as if, yes, ma'am.
Commissioner, that can be public. The members of the public can file complaints with the public entity, and the county has 3 days to correct the issue, or at least, and then they file them with the AG's office, which then conducts an investigation.
So maybe we should have put it in the budget to build some individual restrooms for some people. All right. All I can do is laugh and pray. Thank you.
SB 16 creates the criminal offense of real property theft and real property fraud, with enhanced penalties when elderly, disabled, or nonprofit owners are targeted, or when homestead property is involved. It requires county clerks to verify photo identification before recording certain real estate documents and notifying law enforcement if fraudulent filings are alleged. This one, too, we're waiting on the effective date. SB 54 amends election procedures regarding accepting a voter with a residence address that is not current and the immediate effect of a voter's registration after the registrar's receipt of certain change of address notices. It specifies that a voter's registration change becomes effective 30 days after the voter submits a notice or related statement to the registrar. It allows voters who have moved within the same county to vote in their registered precinct if they submit a statement affirming residence requirements. They've provided all the required registration information to include the date they submitted the address change document. We're also waiting on the effective date of that one. So then lastly, to the miscellaneous items that I just wanted to mention, HB1 is the Youth Camper Act. It strengthens regulations of youth camps by requiring comprehensive emergency preparedness and safety standards. That one became effective September 5th. HB4 establishes new congressional districts for the state of Texas, takes effect December 4th, and barring any court rulings blocking the new maps, these new districts will be on the 2026 ballots. SB1 is referred to as the Heavens 27 Camp Safety Act. It strengthens campground and youth camp safety standards. It prohibits licensing of youth camps with cabins in floodplains unless certain exceptions are met, creates an online camp registry, and mandates detailed emergency preparedness plans. That one became effective September 5th. SB3 mandates outdoor warning system sirens in flash flood-prone areas through a new state grant program. It directs the governor's office to fund municipalities, counties, and other governmental entities for installation cost, with the Texas Water Development Board identifying locations based on flood history, loss of life, property risk, and other factors. That one became effective September 5th. And then lastly, SB 12, it grants the Texas Attorney General jurisdiction and a mandatory duty to prosecute criminal offenses ranging from illegal voting to various forms of election fraud. Law enforcement agencies must submit reports and requested information related to such offenses to the AG, and then the AG may direct local prosecutors to prosecute or assist in prosecutions. That one, too, we're awaiting the effective date. That was sent to the governor on the 28th. Any questions?
Question.
Hopefully that is it for my session presentations. This, into, what did we, 25? So into 26. I hope that is it for me for a while.
We hope so, too. Hope so, too. All right.
Judge, I don't have any questions, but I want to acknowledge, I see our HR Director, Manny's here. So I just wanted, I know you support some behind-the-scenes work for Melissa and Dan, so I just want to acknowledge you because I know you take really good care of our county employees, so I just want to acknowledge the work of you and thank you for being here another fiscal year and getting us through it. So open enrollment's coming up, so you're about to be busy. Thanks.
Okay, thank you, Melissa. All right, we're going to move on. I'm going to ask for a motion to grant exception to Administrative Policy 1.2 to authorize the consideration of the following late file items total, and then we'll take it up individually. Item 54, 55, and 56. Motion by Commissioner Clay Flores, second by Commissioner Rodriguez. All those in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries. Now, let's take up item 54A. Approval execution professional service agreement between Bexar County, Texas, the Center for Healthcare Services, CHCS, for the county of $4,823,614 in general fund to provide mental health and support services in order to restore mental health to a mentally ill person, to divert persons from incarceration, facilitate their entry into treatment. This contract is for FY 24-25. Dr. Guerrero.
Thank you, Judge, court members. I am Dr. Andrea Guerrero, Director of Public Health for Bexar County. We're asking for your approval and execution of this contract between Bexar County and the Center for Healthcare Services. We've had a lot of discussion over the last several court meetings about this, but this contract is for the services that have been rendered over this last fiscal year, so we're coming to the end of that, and it is for $4.8 million and supports diversion, AOT, community reintegration.
Okay. Is there a motion?
I'm glad we finally got this on the agenda, and thank you for being here. Some people from my former life that I know, the three of you from CHCS, so move for approval.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Clay Flores, second by Commissioner Rodriguez. Any further discussion? Commissioner Rodriguez, Commissioner Moody, Commissioner Calvert. Go ahead.
So in terms of the plan going forward beyond September 30th, because of payment issues, what is the plan?
We are in discussions right now because obviously we've introduced another partner, University Health System, into this in addition to those other services that we would still like to negotiate with CHCS on moving forward. And so we're in negotiations right now, working out the details of those contracts.
Let's just say that obviously our fiscal year ends September 30th, or I would take it that we should have had a contract to ensure October 1 was going to go forward. If there's an impasse, what is the court to do?
I'm working with our civil DA and with our partners, CHCS and UHS, to come up with a plan that's going to be satisfactory to everyone and make sure that payment is made in a timely manner.
Okay, so you've been getting the payments information, the invoices monthly, so they were not paid through the year. So what is your plan to ensure that doesn't happen anymore?
Well, going forward, these contracts will be written with the reimbursement clause, or basically be paid upon reimbursement. So it really is not just a question of invoicing in the way that we've done in the past, but that as invoices are submitted on reimbursement in the same way that we do ARPA and opioid and everything else, and it seems to be a successful model, these contracts weren't set up that way, but in the future they will be.
Okay, because my concern is I've heard the delay on the payments probably for 3 years or more, and it seems like there's been a lot of time to get the invoicing issues taken care of. So I appreciate the willingness to do that going forward, but the payment at the end of the year is very tough for any organization to deal with, particularly one that's a governmental entity, nonprofit, and there's probably a lot of other subcontractors that are impacted potentially as well. So I'm going to support moving forward, but we're going to have to keep a very close eye on this contract because of its impact on criminal justice and public safety. Thank you, Judge.
Commissioner Moody.
So I appreciate Commissioner Calvert's comments. So I've heard issues with the timing of payments as well. So is it a question of there's disagreement about the invoices that are submitted, or is it a question of process, and that the process that the county has set up is at the end of the year, into the FY, versus like on a quarterly basis or a monthly basis?
Probably none of the above. I think the process is different in that it is not on reimbursement. It is just a sort of a lump sum. And so CHCS has been submitting invoices, but we just had other discussions and negotiations that were happening throughout this year to where we wanted to come to a resolution on some of those other issues, and now we're able to do this.
To what we're doing. There has been difficulties between the county staff and the CHS staff in regards to this past invoice. And obviously, as you can see, it's for the past year. The issue of what we're dealing with now from a legal standpoint